runs, you already know I got to get my other stream going, so bear with me. But this is the way we do things. So we're going to be talking about ice in Minnesota from a host of angles, including the criticism of Alex Preddy bringing a firearm to a protest. So we're going to talk about that as well. But give me a minute to get everything going. Um, and I do appreciate you folks that are starting to tune in on Instagram. But give me a minute to get my other streams going. We're going to be on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. So we'll be going momentarily here. We're going to be talking about ICE in Minneapolis. That is the story that keeps on going. So many folks pointing out that it's wrong to bring a firearm to a protest in regards to the late Alex Preddy killed on the streets of Minneapolis. We're going to talk about that as to some degree. The question is why is that stance being entertained? I mean, this isn't the first time we've had a protest, and certainly not the first time somebody has showed up to one armed. So give me a minute. I'm almost done here, and we can get the show on the road here. Hopefully, my audio is good. If the audio is good on YouTube, somebody let me know. I see the Bison returns. Let me know if the audio is good. I don't know, for some reason. I may have to. I'll tell you this. Now that thank you, Bison returns. Now that Trump has taken control of, well, I won't say Trump, but um, now that the folks on the right have taken control of TikTok, it appears that censorship in social media is happening. There's a lot of folks. If you are online, you've probably heard about this. There's a lot of folks suggesting that, particularly TikTok, which was, it changed hands. It's now in the hands of Americans that are pro-Trump. There's a lot of folks suggesting that TikTok is heavily censored now. Because most of the stuff I do is via live streams. I mean, I do videos, but I don't even really look at the analytics of the videos I do. Most of the analytics I'm concerned with is from the live streams. So it doesn't really affect me from a live stream aspect, but a lot of folks are indeed saying that they're seeing censorship. Now, keep in mind, when Elon Musk, who is also obviously a supporter and friend of Trump, when Elon Musk purchased Twitter and then changed it or renamed it X, it took a very big swing towards the right as well. So many are suggesting that it is not these social media platforms falling in the hands of conservatives is not making them uncensored. It's that they're facing censorship is just now coming from a right wing perspective. So I do want to hear from you folks on that. If you've seen or heard anything about internet censorship, particularly with TikTok, now that it's in the hands of, I believe, Oracle. I believe it's in the hands of Oracle, but the controllers of TikTok are now Trump friendly people. They are now Trump friendly people. Metal Fox says, give me an example. Well, folks are suggesting when they post stories related to what's going on in Minnesota, the amount of viewership on those stories is way down. That's what people are suggesting. They're saying that all of a sudden the stuff that's in regards to immigration officials, and I'm trying not to even say the word because I don't want it to affect our show. The word being, what does water turn into when it's frozen? That's the word because right now that particular group is very unpopular with millions of Americans, not to mention likely millions of people in international countries as well. I mean, they know what's going. Listen, what happens in America makes news worldwide. So there's a lot of folks that know what's happening in America, and And I don't think there's hardly anybody outside of America that favors what is going on with that stuff. A few right wing groups do, though. A few right wing groups do. The Brexit people, for instance, they favor what what is his name, Jeff Bovino. They favor what he is doing. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and start with the show. So Jeff Bovino is out in Minnesota. Now he was headed, he was in charge of border security, border patrol. I don't know what his outfit is called, but ICE and all of them were under his watch. So he was in charge on the ground. He was in charge of what was going on on the ground in Minnesota, particularly Minneapolis. He is out now, and Tom Homan is in. Now, the first thing I want to ask you folks is, what did Bovino do that's wrong? What did Jeff Bovino do that is so wrong? When Renee Nicole Good lost her life, both head of Homeland Security Kristi Noem and President Trump himself took to the internet indicating that what happened was a justifiable shooting and that both of the deceased, Alex and Renee, were both domestic terrorists. So what did Jeff Bovino do that's wrong? If the two individuals that has made national news, if not international news, if both of these individuals were justifiable shoots, genuine bad guys, Renee Nicole Good allegedly trying to run over an officer with her car, and they're going after Alex Preddy because he brought a firearm to a protest. If they're both genuine bad guys, then what did Alex Bovino do to get demoted? Now, the point I want to make is, and you folks can certainly correct me on this, but my belief is what Jeff Bovino was doing was what the Trump administration wanted him to do. But when it became unpopular nationally, once again, if not internationally, the Trump administration needed a fall guy. They needed someone to throw under the bus, and that moved Bovino into the number one slot. Otherwise, if you don't agree with that, then you do believe that Bovino did something that Trump didn't want him to do. And I'd be curious to know, why did Bovino get demoted? I don't see where he was doing anything against the wishes of President Trump. So why did he get demoted? What did he do that was so wrong? We're going to talk about that. Like I said, I don't see anything he did that was wrong, because I haven't heard President Trump criticize Bovino at all. I haven't heard him criticize him at all. Now, in the comments, James Harper says because he embarrassed Trump. He didn't embarrass Trump. Like, as I keep saying, if you embarrass Trump or you do something wrong, Trump doesn't hesitate to criticize you. He doesn't criticize Bovino at all. What happened was Bovino was bestowing upon the Minnesota people what Trump wanted to be done. The whole goal of ICE going into Minnesota was to stick it to those damn liberals. And Trump sent in a bunch of heavy-handed goons, and they were doing exactly that. Bovino was pretty much following orders. It's just that the orders given to Bovino culminated into two people losing their lives, and it started becoming unpopular, even with conservatives. And as opposed to Trump taking responsibility for having folks do what he ordered them to do, they use Bovino as a fall guy. That's my humble opinion, but I do want to hear from you folks, because I would like to know, what did he do wrong? If not, what did he do wrong? Bovino, Torino, everything ended. What am I getting wrong? What is his name? Is it not? What is it? Bovino, ain't it? Isn't that his name? Bovino? Somebody tell me. They definitely scapegoated Bovino, says Richard. Yeah, I don't think Bovino did anything wrong. I don't believe he did anything wrong whatsoever. I think he was doing what Trump wanted him to do. The guy, for God's sake, the guy may have letters of a commendation from Trump. But once he became unpopular, doing what the boss told you to do, the boss needed somebody to blame for how it was going wrong. So I do want to talk to you guys about that. Also, as I mentioned earlier, with both individuals losing their life, talking about Renee Nicole Good and Preddy, Alex Preddy, with both of them losing their life and the Trump administration, starting with Kristi Noem, calling them domestic terrorists and suggesting that both of those individuals were interfering with the duties of ICE, essentially obstructing justice, which is a crime. They're saying that both Renee Nicole Good and Alex Preddy were obstructing justice, committing crimes, and they were both domestic terrorists. So the question I want to ask is, if Kristi Noem and President Trump both indicated immediately that both of the deceased were not only violating the law, but they were domestic terrorists, condemned them before any investigation was completed at all. I mean, Kristi Noem was on TV condemning both of these individuals within a few hours of their death. And President Trump, too. It wasn't long before President Trump did it. Both of them were releasing pretty damning statements against the deceased within 6 hours, of them dying. So I want to ask you folks, because you know the Trump administration is not letting any other agency participate in the investigation into their deaths. Minnesota is being blocked, even though they actually had a federally signed warrant by a judge giving them access to the investigation of what happened to Alex Preddy. The administration still did not adhere to the judge's orders and blocked Minnesota. So Minnesota has no access to the investigation. I don't even know if they know exactly who shot Alex Preddy. So the question I'm asking here, and I want to hear from you folks, is if Trump and Kristi Noem already condemned the deceased as being terrorists and obstructing justice, what are the chances that the families of Renee Nicole Good or Alex Preddy can depend on the federal government to give them a fair and unbiased investigation? If the president and Homeland Security have already condemned the deceased within mere hours after them dying, what are the chances? Because they're not letting anybody else in on the investigation. Right now, it's essentially Homeland Security doing an investigation on a controversial shooting by Homeland Security. So they're basically overseeing themselves. Now, I believe the FBI may or may not get involved. Kash Patel may or may not get involved. But I do want to ask you folks, what are the chances that the families of the deceased will get a fair and unbiased investigation by the Trump administration? Last but not least, this one, well, this is not like, we got 4 topics, but this one also I want to ask you folks. Now, you've heard over and over again by now, undoubtedly, it's wrong to bring a firearm to a protest. This is in regards to Alex Preddy showing up armed to a protest. It's wrong to bring a firearm to a protest. I have to bring up some slides and ask you folks. Everybody remembers Kyle Rittenhouse showing up to he had a Black Lives Matter protest in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Now, he showed up armed to a protest, similar to what they're suggesting was wrong when Alex Preddy did it. Now, Kyle Rittenhouse, for him doing that, he actually got to meet the President of the United States. That is his only claim to fame, being Kyle Rittenhouse. His only claim to fame is he showed up armed to a protest and ultimately killed a couple of the protesters. Now, his actions were in self-defense. I do believe Kyle Rittenhouse's actions were in self-defense. But this is a discussion about whether or not to show up to a protest with a gun. So why did Kyle Rittenhouse get treated different than Alex Preddy? But continuing on, how many of you folks remember this lovely couple here? Now, these 2 individuals, as you see, the man is holding what looks like a AR-15 or some sort of carbine, and his wife is holding what looks like a small, what is a small handgun. Once again, these two individuals are at a Black Lives Matter protest in St. Louis, Wisconsin. So they too have showed up to a protest brandishing firearms. And just like Kyle Rittenhouse got to meet the president, they were invited to the Republican National Convention, as you see pictured here. They were invited to the Republican National Convention. So it does seem like the Republican side of the aisle favors bringing a firearm to a protest. I don't get what's so different about Alex Preddy, but I'm going to certainly look forward to talking to you folks in the comments and live very shortly. Last but not least, the Michigan mask mandates, as you see here on my screen, they went to the Michigan Capitol building. A host of folks you see here, all carrying carbines, each one of them carrying some sort of carbine, AR-15s, et cetera, et cetera. The man on the far left carrying what looks like a long rifle with a silencer on it. Now they're in the Michigan Capitol building. To the point where the employees in that building were afraid to leave their offices. They're all armed. Not only are they armed, they're literally wearing masks and balaclavas. Where have you seen that at recently, folks? They're wearing masks and balaclavas. This is their protest against the Michigan mask mandates. All armed. Pistols, I see pistols, and each one of them has a long rifle. So the question I want to ask you folks is simple. What is the difference between Alex Preddy carrying a firearm to a protest that he didn't show any damn body he had, versus all of these individuals, Kyle Rittenhouse, the married couple, and the mask mandates, carrying firearms out in the open? What is the difference? Why is Alex Preddy carrying a firearm to a protest being treated so differently than all these other groups? What am I missing out on? I would love to hear from you folks on that. And last but not least, I think many of us predicted this might happen again. We're on the cusp of another government shutdown. We are on the cusp of another government shutdown. There is a ton of money. I should have had the numbers ready for this live, but I don't. But there's a ton of money to the tune of billions of dollars in this for DHS. So ICE gets more money in this bill that's coming up. I'm going to ask you folks a simple question. Should the Democrats cause another shutdown? Because it can't, without the Democrats, the shutdown is going to happen. If the Democrats stand in unison, the government will shut down. Should the Democrats stand against more funding to immigration officials and authorities like ICE, even if it means shutting down the government once more? Should the Democrats partake in another government shutdown? I want to hear from you folks on that. So this is the program. You know how we run it. We are MAGA friendly. This is uncensored programming. So you're going to hear opinions coming from every damn where. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone for their opinion. We do not talk down the guests. We go left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with Q. You can be critical of anyone on this program, including yours truly. So free speech reigns supreme here. Tap the screen, get the likes up to 10,000. We'll take the first caller. Look it in the comments. Why is everybody freaking out about deportation? Come in the right way. What the fuck? Well, first of all, they're closing. The idea of coming in the right way is becoming less and less possible. They're straight out of Crompton. I like it. But Trump has already banned entry from all third world countries. I believe he's went out to Muslim countries. He's already banned legal entry from probably at least half the planet at this point. So, just come legally is not an avenue for a ton of places. So, look, if you're anti-immigrant, we can certainly discuss that, and there may be legitimate reasons why you are anti-immigrant. But if you're going to pretend like all you want is for folks to come here legally, knowing they can't do so, then you're kind of not being honest with yourself or anybody you're discussing. Now, look at it. Honestly, we don't need more legal or illegal immigrants. We have to look after Americans, says Cracked Hammer. Tell me how we're looking after Americans. You're not a fan of forgiving tuition. You're not a fan of universal health care. You're not a fan of a minimum wage increase. Tell me how are you going to look at looking after Americans in what way? You're not a fan of SNAP or any of those programs to feed the poor. I mean, you got folks like Charlie Kirk and the Trump administration themselves saying children in school shouldn't even get a free lunch. Tell me where the taking care of Americans actually is based on actual valid concerns. I don't see it. I don't see it. You're making it clear even without the immigrants. You're going to, for the most part, be like, fuck most Americans. I don't see it. You suck at debating, pro, says Mr. Golfski. I want to get that right. Says, you suck at debating, pro. Horrible take on everything you've said. Mr. Golfski, appreciate that. Whoever just did that, I'll look that up. James Harper, thank you. I would absolutely invite you, Mr. Golfski, to come on up on the program. I'll give you plenty of time to state your point. We don't block, ban, or censor you. Doesn't matter what your politics are. And not only will I suck at debating, you get the chance to show what looks like at least 1,000 people right now. So come on up on Instagram or TikTok, The Handsome Liberal, and we'll bring you up first with plenty of time, give you plenty of respect. Anyway, let me go straight to the box. Don't know what I just hit here, but we'll go straight to the box. I'll start the program off with Jeremy. Good evening. Welcome to the show, Jeremy. So what is the difference between Alex Preddy carrying a firearm to a protest versus all those other people?
Well, to be honest, I think that's a dumb argument to make for the right to make. See, the problem is this is more team sports than anything else. Again, like this could easily be one of those situations where you could make a better argument for what was happening. Like he was like interfering, and there could have been an argument for a legitimate arrest. But as it stands now, the one thing I'm hoping for is body cam from the person who actually pulled the trigger. Because the one thing that I've been trying to argue with people is we can't tell if he was able to get his hands on, if the person on the ground, Alex Preddy himself, was grabbing an officer's firearm or not. You
really believe? That's what I don't get.
No, don't just laugh. Okay,
I'm going to be honest with you. It is laughable. The guy's got his hand in the air. He's holding a phone. Guy has no criminal history whatsoever. He's a fucking nurse. Why do we think this guy's going to show up and just start trying to murder agents of the government? There is nothing in his history to show he's a bad guy like that.
There's nothing in the history of most mass shooters that was before they commit their crimes. What are you talking about?
I mean, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. But this guy was disarmed. There's no look. If he's the guy who's going to show up and start, if he's,
we think he is disarmed. He definitely had one firearm taken off him. Again, here's something people don't
think. Wait, hold on. You think if that guy had a second? You think if that guy had a second firearm on him, they wouldn't have told you that 1,000,000 times by now?
The thing is that if you actually rewatch the video, the ICE agents are in the way of seeing his left arm. You can't see what his left arm is doing. Now, no. This is important.
I'm listening. I'm laughing. It's funny, but I am listening. Keep going.
My question is why can't we get a clear view of where his hands are? There's enough agents around that have body cams on and that should be able to show where his hands were right before the gun went off. To me, that's what matters.
Here's what I don't understand, Jeremy. This guy was standing next to a woman that got shoved down, and within a second of him getting involved in it, he's on the ground, they're kicking and hitting him about the head and shit. This is before he gets shot. I don't see what he did to even deserve the ass whooping they were giving him, much less the guns. I don't see, they were not trying to arrest the guy. They were literally beating him on the ground.
Well, they were all trying to restrain him, and they were all doing.
They weren't trying to restrain. You got 6 motherfuckers can't restrain one guy. You got 6 dudes? What was he, He-Man?
I don't know. Again, we don't know exactly what was going on.
I think, Jeremy, I think we do know. I think we're trying to give ICE as much of the benefit of the doubt as humanly possible. The guy gets pepper sprayed or bear sprayed, so we know his vision is fucked up. You got like 6 dudes on him, hitting and striking him, and somehow we supposed to believe this dude was going, what is he, Arnold Schwarzenegger in Commando? I mean, this guy was being subdued within seconds of them coming in contact with him. I don't see where the major crime is, certainly up to the point where they're already beating on the dude.
Again, I'm not saying this is justified shooting. What I'm saying is I want body cam footage. I want body cam footage because that will help decide whether or not he actually was able to grab an officer's firearm. That does happen. There's plenty of police video that was out there where an officer is someone's to the ground. Sometimes even multiple officers are on the same guy, and one guy pulls the officer's gun out of the holster and lights him up.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that, but I'm gonna tell you something. Generally, when the police are involved, and this is city police, metro sheriff, you name it, state police. Generally, when the police are involved in something controversial, and they got easy proof to show this don't look like what you guys think, this person was clearly a bad guy, you get that stuff released really quick. It's when they do something that is suspect, when all of a sudden they tell you, well, there's an investigation going on, we can't release it right. When they don't release it right away, it's usually a reason why. If that guy had a second firearm on him, or some of the things that you're talking about were possibly true, you would know about that already. Because Trump has already called a guy a domestic terrorist. He would have released that to back his claim up.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I think Kristi Noem and President Trump are kind of stupid. It's like, you shouldn't be talking like that when you don't know the facts. Now, and again, this is why I'm very suspicious as to what exactly happened and why I'm leaning a little bit more to believing that this was probably a bad shoot. But at the end of the day, I just want more evidence. I just want enough evidence.
I get that, but I'll tell you something. When Renee Nicole Good drove at that officer, the folks that saw that didn't need to see much more evidence to say that what she did was wrong and therefore she kind of deserved what she had coming to her. To me, what happened to Alex Preddy looks bad, looks real bad. And even though you're somewhat admitting it looks bad, you're still at the point where I need to see what his left hand is doing. I mean, he got a half a dozen dudes. He got a half a dozen dudes sitting around him.
Tim.
Yes.
That's because I'm an objective person. I'm not bought out. Okay? Do you want somebody who just jumps to conclusions, or do you want someone like me who's willing to say, let's make sure it's that it can be that we know exactly what happened?
Well, let's go with what you're saying. Let me ask it to you this way. Because we don't want to jump to conclusions, which you're admitting that Trump and Kristi Noem has already done that. And now we know Trump and Kristi Noem, the ones that instantly called the guy a domestic terrorist, they're the only ones investigating what happened because they've blocked everybody else out. So when you say you want to see the body cam, you want to see his left arm, do you feel confident that they're going to give you an unbiased investigation?
Yeah, it's definitely suspicious. That's something I don't like. I think there should be like an independence in the investigation. Now, here's the thing. I do think that I don't trust the Minnesota government because Minnesota has been part of the reason why we're like there's so many ICE agents in Minnesota in the first place is because up until very, very recently, the Minnesota government and the police were not working with the federal law enforcement. But you could easily give this to a different state. Like you could easily
I agree with that.
We're gonna have the state of, say, Wyoming investigate this to keep it independent from either the feds or from the state local government.
So you see Minnesota is corrupt, but I guess I would ask you, with Trump jumping the gun and calling the guy a terrorist, do you see any corruption from the Trump administration?
Absolutely. But here's the thing. Two people can be corrupt at the same time.
Yeah.
Two people can do that. See, Tim, this is why I'm very suspicious of people. You see, here's the thing about me, Tim. Okay, there's actually a journalist I told you about a long time ago. You probably forgot already.
I'm sure I have. Go ahead. I'm sure I have.
All right. Her name is Lauren Southern, and she's
No, I do remember you telling me. No, I actually remember that.
Yeah. And she wrote an entire book called This Is Not Real Life, where she specifically mentioned how so many of the independent media who were out there who talk about political issues of any kind used to be very, like, much better than the mainstream media, because they used to not have the big donors behind them and, like, talking points, and they were doing it, they were speaking truth to power. But as of late, within the last 10 years, corporations, governments, and even criminal organizations have gotten in it. So what you're going to see, I'm just mark my words here, Tim. What you're going to see is clones of each other's talking points on both the right and the left, and it's going to all sound very, very, very similar. There's not going to be a lot of original takes, because most of these people on both the right and the left are paid for.
Well, listen, I can't buy into that, because I hear that George Soros is paying protesters and all this shit. I never see any proof of this. Just listen, let me know how much money I can make to just stand out on the street and hold a sign. I've never seen it in an ad, Craigslist, you name it. I lean left. I have access to folks on the left and the right. I've never seen anybody send me an advertisement that suggests if you show up to protest, we'll pay you. All I do is hear that from the right, that all of these liberals are showing up and they're being paid by everybody. They never provide any proof of this, though.
Well, there is a guy on Instagram that's actually been exposing some of that. But also,
one dude. What is he, Nick Shirley?
No, not Nick Shirley. He's friends with Cam Higby. I'll DM you about it. But also, like I said, like Lauren has talked extensively about how, like, if you're in that space and you're a journalist, so it's not just protesters, it's also journalists and activists. I mean, there are people out there who will fund you to say specific points, and there's lots of astroturf thing in the media when it comes to.
I hear what you're saying, but we're being told there are paid protesters. People are standing out protesting, and they're receiving a check for doing so. I have not seen any. They say that every liberal thing, everything that liberals protest, whether it's Antifa with Chaz, BLM, every time they protest, the right says they're being paid to do so, and they never provide evidence.
Well, I'm just saying. Well, it happens on both sides. It's not just the left.
So the right are being paid to protest too?
Well, it's not just about protesters. It's also about journalism. It's also about people who write stories and media companies and stuff like that.
Yeah, writing a story and getting paid. Yeah, getting paid to write a story and getting paid to protest are like in a whole different camp. I mean, look, if you're going to spend time to
I'm
write,
saying it's both. I'm saying both.
I need to see evidence. I'm just going to leave it like that. I need to see evidence. So in other words, you see corruption from the state of Minnesota, but you do also indicate you see corruption from the Trump administration. So if you see corruption from both sides, and the only people investigating the death of Renee Nicole Good and Alex Preddy is the Trump administration, you would admit, okay, so you don't feel confident that's going to be a legitimate investigation then?
No, and that's the thing. This is the thing. I hate cults. I hate people who are just like, everything that my daddy says is true. And here's the thing. The left and the right both do it. They will accuse the other person of doing it. They're both hypocrites. Both sides will accuse the other of doing exactly what they're doing.
Wait, hold on. Let me ask you quick, because you voted for Trump. I'm saying this because a lot of folks listening may not know that you voted for Trump. Do you regret your vote?
I've said so already.
You do regret it.
Yeah.
If you could go back, would you have voted for Kamala Harris though?
No, I'd vote Libertarian.
You'd have threw your vote away, basically, but as opposed to giving it to Trump. I'm being honest. You vote for some of these other people in the middle.
Principle.
Yeah.
I would have voted on principle.
So why do you think, unlike you who voted for Trump, there are so many folks that support Trump and believe that he is doing a fantastic job, and they would vote for him again? What are they seeing that you're not?
Two things. Number one, sunk cost fallacy. Sunk cost fallacy basically means, like, when you do something, you invest a lot into something over an extended period of time, you feel like you have to stick with it because it costs you so much of something, even if it would actually be better to cut your losses.
Wow.
So people have sunk cost fallacy with Trump. They went to knocking on doors. They were all enthusiastic. They were out in the streets. They were like tweeting and posting on Instagram and showing their favor for Trump on social media. And honestly, Trump had a mandate. He really did. He's one of the only Republican candidates in recent history that has been able to win both the popular and electoral votes. Okay, and so people feel kind of an attachment to that. They aren't willing to admit, oh man, the person I backed isn't who they said they were. They're not willing to admit that.
Yeah, I haven't heard many MAGA suggest that Trump is not who he said he was. I got folks telling me Trump should be on the face of Mount Rushmore.
Of course they're not going to say it, Tim. Of course they're not going to say it, because then they'd have to admit that they made a mistake.
Humans make mistakes, Jeremy. What are you saying? MAGA wants to come across as being perfect?
Yes, everybody does on the internet. Here's the thing.
I don't.
You want to know what happens when you admit something on the internet? When you admit that you make a mistake?
Okay.
People who don't like you will come after you. People who, they will come through you in the comments. They'll come after you and say like oh yeah, oh, remember when you said this, and this? Even if you say, yeah, I was wrong about that, they're like, you were wrong, and they'll.
Yeah, I don't subscribe to that theory. You pointed out something earlier in our conversation right now where I said, yeah, you are kind of right about that. I make it clear on this program, I don't have all the damn answers, and none of you folks do either. To get on the internet and pretend like you're always fucking right, that's crazy. I mean, humans make mistakes.
I didn't say it's a smart idea. It's not a good thing. But this is the poison that the internet does to us. It makes people like you and me, reasonable people, one of the few people who are able to admit that I was wrong. Like, look, think about what happens when like people like Gangsta Grandma or Mike or any of the other people who don't like me come up here. I've literally said multiple times that I regret my vote because Trump isn't doing what he said he's going to do. Yeah. And I still get called a racist and a sexist and a PDF defender or whatever, and like all this.
Wait a minute. They call you a PDF defender, so I'm going to ask you: do you believe President Trump is a PDF?
Yeah, I have no idea, but I am very suspicious about those Epstein.
If somebody put a pistol to your damn head, and you had to guess the right answer, otherwise you're out of there. What would you guess? Yes or no?
The gun would go off.
So you wouldn't guess nothing at all.
I would flip a coin.
But even with you flipping a coin, that is indicating that. Go ahead.
Here's the thing, Tim. The fact that I have to make that question is a bad sign.
I don't think so. But I think the fact that you said you would flip a coin suggests that you're giving him a 50-50 chance. That means you certainly are not for sure he's not at all.
Yeah, I am.
Wow.
Yeah, I am giving him a 50-50, and that's not a good thing.
No, it's not.
It should be like, no, he's 100% not in the files. Yeah. But like when they don't release the files, and they have all these like blocked out pictures and stuff, it's like, that's suspicious.
So it's very much the same way as it is with them blocking out everybody from being involved in the investigation into the deaths of Alex Preddy and Renee Nicole Good. That's suspicious too, is what you're saying.
Yeah, absolutely. They're both suspicious.
Wow.
Here's the thing, Tim. Here's the thing. At the end of the day, I don't like that this guy got shot. I don't want that. That's shitty.
Same.
But I think the thing we need to do is we all need to take a breath and say, what people should be doing is they should be demanding that the body cam footage be released. They should be demanding that. But I feel like, and like you said earlier, it feels like maybe they have a reason to not release it. Maybe there's some.
Well, I guess the thing is, Jeremy, when you got Kristi Noem and Trump rushing to call the guy a domestic terrorist and convict him within a few hours, it's pretty clear that their default position is to defend the officers. I mean, no investigation is taking place. They absolutely don't have all the evidence that quick. And they're already condemning the deceased and defending the officers. So their default position is going to be not to say, wait, like what you're saying, I need to see this or that first. They're going to rush to defend the officer without seeing anything. And they are the ones that are in charge of the investigation.
Yeah, and that's not a good thing. I'm tired of people not having nuanced positions anymore. It feels like the longer we're on the internet, the more people all kind of sound the same. Like the left sounds the same, the right sounds the same. Everybody seems to be just copying each other's homework. Nobody has original ideas. Nobody has original perspectives anymore, and it's just annoying.
I don't think Trump sounds the same. I got to move it on, Jeremy, but I think one reason people like Trump is he is different. He definitely sounds different than your typical politician. I mean, he's doing a lot of things.
I'll give him that.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of things that you would have never seen out of Ron DeSantis or Ted Cruz, Vivek Ramaswamy. None of them. Nikki Haley. None of them. I mean, I don't think any of them would have flooded a U.S. city with ICE like Trump did. So he's doing a lot of stuff that they would not have done. I got to move it on, Jeremy. Always a pleasure.
Have a good one, Tim.
You too. By the way, folks, tap the screen. Get us up. Not even at 10,000. Come on now. Should be at least at 20,000. The truth is never redundant, sir. Wow. Democrat politicians need to stop telling their people to do this. Telling their people to do what? Let me know, Miss Martha. Appreciate the fine jewelry. Tap the screen, get the likes up, folks. Fair point. I think having a firearm outdoors and near an ICE operation is crazy, but Trump is spinning it and not being factual as well. Well, and I'll take that point from two angles. Before we talk about having a firearm at the protest and all of that, the fact that the president, which is what I just told my last caller, the fact that the president is not only jumping the gun and condemning the deceased, but he's also refusing to let anybody partake in the investigation. MAGA's not calling that out. And they damn sure would be calling that out if it was any liberal doing something like that. We can call out Tim Walz for being fraudulent with the Somali shit or being a sanctuary city, but we can't call out Trump for jumping the gun, condemning the deceased, and letting nobody else partake in the investigation. If you can see one and not the other, you're being biased. It's as simple as that. You're being biased. Looking in the comments, though, sounds pretty authoritarian. Yeah, it doesn't sound good. And my last caller who voted for Trump even admits that. It doesn't sound good. Second Amendment on his 6 o'clock, one hand up, one hand in the air. Yeah, like I said, I don't favor the whole notion of bringing a firearm to a protest being something that's outlandish, because I brought up Kyle Rittenhouse on the screen here behind me, and the fact that he got to meet Trump for bringing a firearm to a protest. That is the only thing Kyle Rittenhouse did. If Kyle Rittenhouse lives to be 90, that is the main thing that happened in his life, is he gained 15 minutes of fame for bringing a firearm to a protest, leading to him being a hero of the right and meeting the president. Tell me what's the difference between him and Alex Preddy. And then, of course, I brought up this married couple, once again, bringing a couple firearms to a Black Lives Matter protest in St. Louis. And once again, the Republican Party invites them to speak at the Republican National Convention. You see, it's actually on the RNC's page there. What's the difference between them doing it and Alex Preddy? And then, of course, the mask mandates, which I have in there as well. I don't understand it. Why is Alex Preddy being singled out? And by the way, as the viewer pointed out, Alex Preddy never even pulled this firearm out. The only reason they found out he had a firearm is because they started wrestling with him and felt it in thank you, James Harper. They started wrestling with Alex Preddy. I suppose they felt he had a firearm on him and they disarmed him. All these other individuals, their guns are out in the open. Why is Alex Preddy getting hammered when all of these other folks were treated like heroes? Somebody needs to explain that to me. Going to the box, James Harper, good evening or welcome to the program. Jennifer says, I hear a different perspective of people all the time. So do I. Good evening. So what do you think? Why is Alex Preddy carrying a firearm to a protest being treated so differently than all other folks I'm mentioning?
Because it's a liberal cause. Like if he was for the right, they champion him as a hero. But being that he's not for the right, then they're going to say, oh, well, you shouldn't have done that. That's the same thing when people say, oh, we need to put in more regulations for firearms. The right's against it, but as soon as somebody does something with a firearm that the right backs, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to try to defend it in any way, shape, form, and fashion.
So what are you suggesting, that the right is engaging in Second Amendment hypocrisy?
Yes.
I mean, it's hard to argue with you because there's so many examples of folks on the right bringing firearms to protests. I mean, it is hard to argue with that.
But see, what's even worse about that video, Tim, is when they disarmed him, the officer that disarmed him, he was so reckless with the gun, it went off.
Yeah, you know, I heard that. Now that obviously might be shown on the body cam. And I see somebody say, "Why have a comment section?" Hold on, hang on a second. Somebody in the comments, I think it says Lord Alcatraz says, "Why have a comment section if you don't read it?" We're reading the comment section, but we got like 5 comments. If you listen, a super chat, I don't care if it's 99 cents, will make my screen change color. I will absolutely see that because it changes the screen color. I read all of those comments, but otherwise you got 5 screens here with comments everywhere, sir. I'm not able to see it because it's blending in with everybody else. Go ahead there, James Harper.
Yeah, so they were reckless with that, but the whole thing that they were talking about, let's watch the body cam footage. ICE doesn't wear body cams. They never have.
Well, there's a report that these guys had. There's reports coming out that some of these folks that were hands-on with Alex Preddy had body cams on. There's allegedly body cam footage out there.
You can watch the video of them walking up. Not one of them had a body cam on. It's a reason why they don't have body cams on. They don't want evidence to be used against them. Because these guys are not trained.
I don't even think, and I agree, they're not getting the same training as what they normally get, but I don't even think it's the training, James. I actually think that their job is to be goons. Their job is to go there and stick it to the liberals and put these people in their place.
Tim, if you notice how they act, these are the same type of people that act every time there's a police shooting where the people, or they see a video where people getting in officers' faces. These would be the same people in the comments of videos talking about, so if I was there, I would have done this. And that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah. It's hard on this one. So do you agree with my last caller with Trump taking full control of the investigation and condemning the deceased? Do you agree that the investigation into their deaths is not likely to be fair or biased or unbiased?
No. That investigation is not good. It's the same thing where police say, "Oh, we investigated, we didn't find anything wrong." But this is MAGA's version of the immunity. Is we're not even going to let anybody investigate this. We'll find that, like, you have the authority to do this. It's just we're not going to let nobody investigate.
And I see in the comments, Live Squad Nation says, I don't think majority of the right have a problem with him having a firearm. I think that's coming from the administration being far from their base. So what he is saying is most of MAGA and the right don't have a problem with the fact that Alex Preddy bought a firearm to the protest.
Gen X, your fat ass can't pass the damn standards to get in anything. Why the hell you keep trying to say, "I wish I was there"? You would never make it.
I'd be curious to know what would he have done. I'm going to bring Gen X up. What would you have done if you were there? I mean, this guy, the lady gets shoved to the ground. He tends to the lady, and within mere seconds, they're bear spraying him, and before he gets shot, they're beating him up. They're not just trying to handcuff him. He's getting hit in the head, and I'm like, what did he do that warrants an ass kicking? They were beating him up too.
He told them that they were wrong. Basically, he was upset by them shoving that woman for no goddamn reason. Because remember, they walked up to that lady and shoved her as hard as they could, and she flew onto the ground.
Yeah.
And he tried to help her up, so that's when they jumped on him.
Well, but the right is saying that he was obstructing justice. He was interfering with the duties of ICE.
What duties were they doing?
They were beating the hell out of the woman. He was blocking them from beating the hell out of the woman.
What did she do?
I don't know, but I don't know what she did, but they were on the way to beating her ass, and he was blocking it.
What's been going on is when I see somebody with a camera, that gives them the right to engage. Because they see them that they're getting recorded. That's the only thing.
So how do you respond to folks who say, if you don't want to get your ass beat or go out like Alex and Renee, Keep your ass at home. I got folks in the comments saying that. Then just stay home.
So then basically they just saying forget the First Amendment rights.
Something like that. Something like that.
That's basically what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, but remember, these are the same people that were like the Proud Boys and all that, showing up protesting with guns and everything, talking about some you don't tread on me and shit like that. But when their people in charge, you shouldn't be out there. Let them do what they do.
Yeah. And I see in the comments, Rio says because he was fighting with the police. I don't know. Looking at the video, I don't see where he was bear sprayed immediately. So I don't see where I see where he may have been resisting them handcuffing him, but I don't see where he ever fought with him.
The only thing, he didn't even touch them. They touched him. They initiated.
Yeah.
That's like those videos that you see where they talk about the police talking about some stop resisting before they even like get to the altercation with somebody.
To clear themselves. And thank you for that, Lewis. Appreciate that hat and mustache. Thank you. Folks, yeah, help your boy out with the hat and mustache go. I haven't solicited that, and that is the first one. Thank you, Lewis. I appreciate that. But yeah, folks do yell stuff like quit resisting or stop reaching for my gun. These are usually preludes to doing something violent to you. Comic, appreciate it. Thank you for the hat and mustache. That is some of the key phrases they can use that kind of gives them the right to do a lot of other shit to you. If they yell, stop reaching for my gun, that's something they can make sure is on recording before they shoot you, as you were talking about. Or quit resisting gives them an excuse to beat the hell out of you.
Right. And like I said, these guys aren't trained and they don't have the temperament.
Yeah. Now, see in the comments, his name is Goons, so you can imagine where this is going to go. He says, "I'll give you one command, then I'll stop you." So basically, you get told once, and then after that, the violence ensues. So
I said, that's somebody who doesn't have the temperament to be out there doing stuff like that.
Yeah, and I agree with the lack of temperament because ICE is not de-escalating anything. I mean, you don't have to do much at all before you get bear sprayed or tackled.
They're the aggressors.
Yeah,
they are the aggressors. They come in and you even look at them wrong, all of a sudden it's a fight.
Yeah. Yeah, they're very aggressive. They're absolutely operating on but that's what I'm saying, James, is that I believe they were deployed to Minnesota to keep the liberals in their place. I don't think they were deployed there to just, find Somali fraudsters and illegal immigrants. They were deployed there to keep the liberals in their place. And of course, liberals are talking shit and getting out of their place.
No, they were deployed to be a show of force. It wasn't to keep them in the place. It was they were hoping for something to happen. That's why they every time something happens, what's the first thing they do? They talk about trying to surge more ICE agents there because they want an actual fight. They don't want just like something where they want somebody to actually get into a fist fight with ICE agents so they can do the Insurrection Act saying, oh, it's upheaval. We need to lock everything down. Remember, they tried this in all these other cities and no one bit. And what did they do? They ended up having to pull out and leave.
But how about this? In my comments, I got a viewer, Marquis something here. It's a long name, but Marquis is saying Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota, and Fry, the mayor of Minneapolis, they're the ones that stirred all of this up. Without Walz input and without Fry making any input, things would be going smoothly in that area. It's those individuals that stirred it up. What say you?
I say that's a lie. Because what happened in Oregon, what happened in LA, what happened in DC, what happened in New York and Chicago. Every time ICE came in and started acting up, people showed up.
Yeah, because they did have problems in Chicago too. Yeah, I used
not do it.
Yeah, I use the phrase, okay, in Chicago, they definitely had problems, but it wasn't as bad as Minnesota because they didn't send even a fraction of the agents to the Chicago area like they flooded Minneapolis out. But I use the P. Diddy phrase, more agents, more problems. They sent a lot more agents to Minneapolis, so there's a lot more problems from doing so. If Trump exaggerates that number to 5,000, 10,000 away. It's going to be even more problems. The problems are going to multiply with the amount of agents there. Real quick before you continue there, James, Live Squad Nation says, let's hope the cop didn't have a P320 as well. They go off by themselves. But you're still responsible for whatever firearm you carry. Same thing with disarming a suspect. If you disarm a suspect and you discharge his weapon and it results in your brothers shooting the guy dead, you guys are all responsible. I don't see, even though my last guest before you, James, was talking about they need to see his left hand, I haven't seen anything to indicate this guy was a lethal threat.
That guy was getting beat on. Like, if anything, he was probably trying to guard his head and things like that before he got shot. It wasn't no he was reaching for that. The fact is, they was able to smoothly grab that weapon and pull it off. And like I said, he mishandled that weapon and it went off. And that's when they all decided to start shooting.
Wow. And I stated that I could make a case for justifying Renee Nicole Good's shooting, even though I don't believe that was necessary either. But she was trying to escape, driving a vehicle in the direction of an officer. So there is a plausible case to be made. I don't see anything with Alex Preddy. I don't see any way to defend that.
There's nothing that you can say to justify this. This was bad all the way around.
Yeah.
From the initial, because they came in and the first thing they did was shovel women for no apparent reason.
Yeah.
And then they jumped on him just because he was right there.
Yeah, I don't even see anything to verify why they shoved her to the ground. I mean, was she talking shit? But I don't see any crime she committed worthy of that assault.
What made it worse, there's reports saying that they tried to detain witnesses because of what happened. Like, after they made sure that local law enforcement couldn't get in, they tried to detain witnesses. Which is against the law in itself, because people have a Fifth Amendment right to maintain silence. So you can't force somebody to be a witness in your fuck up. But why are you detaining witnesses? Why are you grabbing people after y'all did something? And then, like the other incident, they fled the scene. Who leaves the scene after they do something like that? You have never seen no cop, no other law enforcement that leaves, that the person who did the shooting leaves the scene immediately after it happens. Well, let me ask it to you this way: with both J.D. Vance and I think other members of the Trump administration advising the immigration personnel in Minneapolis that they have immunity, do you foresee anybody being held accountable for what happened to Renee Nicole Good or Alex Preddy? No, you can already tell they're trying to get rid of as much evidence as possible. You can't, it was just happenstance that they fucked up by talking about other issues that we found the name of the cop that shot her. Like, they're not going to mention the name of the guys who unloaded their magazines on that guy. You won't hear nothing else about them. If they leave it where we don't even get any type of, if they protect the guy who killed Alex Preddy to the point where you don't get any identification or even a name of who done it, I think that would really show they're in the tank for defending the guy. I mean, they hide his identity and everything else. You think they may go that far with it? Yes, like I said, that other guy would not have been, if it wasn't for everybody else, oh, hold on, wait. He was in this incident, and they was able to find it through public records. There's nothing identifying these guys. Other agents, when they're out and about, they have their nameplates on them. Show one ICE agent that has their nameplate or anything like that. That's why they cover themselves up and they don't have nameplate. They want no way you can identify them, so there's no way people can sue them after the fact. What about what Muhammad has said in the comments? Muhammad 231 says he will eventually be doxxed. You know, they're suggesting that they're allowing them to wear masks and balaclavas because if they show their face, people are going to be fucking with them and their families, going to their homes. What say you? You know, because the way I see it is, if you were doing the right thing, you wouldn't be worried about being doxxed. No, I mean, listen, if you're deporting somebody that is a fan favorite of the community, but is indeed here illegally,
you're going to have people that are hating you and you're doing your job. I mean, if the person is here illegally or has a criminal record or something, but happened to be a married father of 3 or served in the military or whatever, but he's a justifiable deportation, you're going to have the neighborhood not like you. So you could do your job and still have people not like
That
you.
is the question. That's the problem, Tim. These aren't justified deportations. They're just grabbing people willy nilly and pulling them up about some, oh, you don't look like you belong here. We're going to snatch you up. If they were doing it like ICE was doing it before Trump showed up, there would be
Andy,
no
thank you.
problems.
Well, I mean, some of them are justified. I mean, I agree with you. A lot of Americans are getting swallowed up. Folks are not even having their civil rights. People are getting pulled up because, well, you spoke Spanish, so I need to, show me your papers and all that. Yeah, all of that stuff.
In fact, that's the main thing that they go off of is, oh, I don't hear English. I'm gonna snatch you up.
Yeah, that right there is absolutely a civil rights violation. I mean, that goes against, what do they call it, unwarranted searches and seizures. The Fourth Amendment. You can't stop on probable cause. You can't stop somebody because they're speaking a foreign language. I mean, hell, when I was in high school learning Spanish, I had a Puerto Rican on the block that I would try to speak Spanish to. Had never been to Puerto Rico or anywhere outside the United States. God forbid some cop pull up on me demanding I show him that I'm an American because he heard Spanish. That absolutely is a violation of your constitutional rights. But the Trump administration is defending that. Real quick, Ollie in the comments says there is a video circulating online where a Border Patrol agent says, "You raise your voice, I erase your voice." Since when are citizens have you seen this? Has anybody seen that? No, I ain't seen that either. Wow.
But at the same time, that's no person with the license to kill should ever have that mind frame. Because if that's the case, do you know how many times you're going to get somebody innocent that might be upset about the situation?
Right.
Instead of you de-escalating, you're going to end up killing somebody for no reason.
So what happens after Trump leaves? Does he give a blanket pardon to all of ICE and Border Patrol? I mean, because obviously there are people there that have wronged others.
I wouldn't put it past him. He gave a blanket pardon to the J6ers, so.
Well, last question before I move it on from you. There is more money coming down the pipe for ICE, DHS, billions of dollars. And it's in the Democrats' hands once again to potentially force a second shutdown. Should the Democrats, in effort to prevent more funding for ICE, allow the government to shut down for a second time indefinitely? What say you?
Yes. Yeah, I say don't pass that bill. There's no reason why ICE should need more money. They already got a budget increase with that big beautiful bill. Why are you asking for more money now if they didn't mismanage that money?
I could answer that. If you need a presence of ICE agents like you have in Minneapolis, but it may be 10, 15, 20 cities simultaneously, you're gonna need more money, James.
If you was on the right side of history and the law, you would not need that big ass show of force, because like I said, ICE has been, like, remember, Obama's called the deporter in chief. He deported millions, but there wasn't no giant upheaval and there wasn't no kind of like need to like flood a city with ICE.
Yeah.
But the problem is Trump is trying to use ICE the way he wanted to use the National Guard in the active duty, and he can't get that.
Sort of like a private military, huh?
Yes, he wants a private military because he's already tried to say shit, and even the generals started pushing back, saying, "Sir, we can't do that. We don't have the authority to do that. We're not going to."
That's scary, James. I got to move it on, but that's frightening. So shut the government down. I think a lot of folks are going to agree with you.
It's not a full shutdown. It's a partial shutdown. But the main people that's going to be hurting is ICE, because y'all let Kristi Noem and Balvino and all them play with your money and do dress-ups and all kinds of other like octa shit, and they sat there and pissed your money away. Now they can't do shit until like the next until the budget cycles.
Let's see how it turns out. James, thanks for coming through. And in regards to it being a partial shutdown, I will say this: Trump is really good at finding ways to get you back. So if the Democrats end up causing a second government shutdown, Trump is going to find ways to end up causing the Democrats some pain. I mean, that's what Minneapolis is about. Make no mistake about it. Somali fraud, illegal immigrants, that stuff is a backstory. The purpose of sending that many agents into Minneapolis is to make the Democrats pay, particularly Tim Walz. Tim Walz has talked a lot of shit about President Trump. He's made Tim Walz already paid to the point where he's no longer running for governor again, so he's thrown him out of politics. Trump is really good at making you pay for fucking with him. Tap the screen, get us on up to 45,000. Let your thumbs not be lazy. That's the reason why a hell of a lot of folks do not actually speak their true mind in regards to the policies and actions of President Trump. Even on the right, a lot of folks would rather bow out. I'm talking about the likes of Marjorie Taylor Greene even recently, would rather bow out than go up against Trump. He is really good at making you pay for fucking with him. Doesn't matter. We already suffered a lot of pain from his midterms. His time is up. Joe, I don't know about that. I don't know. Let's see what happens with the midterms. He was a murdering punk who shouldn't have been there to start with, says Richard Garrett. Who are you referring to, Richard? Who was a murdering punk? And I see in the comments, the common phrase by the real J Rio says, fuck eyes. Neither party gives one fuck about you. Yikes. Goons? I can't totally disagree. Gangsta Grandma is right. Tim be on his knees, says 612. I don't know about that. I don't know. Let me go back to the box. Get us up to 45. We'll take the next caller. By the way, you favor uncensored dialogue from all sides of the aisle? MAGA friendly program. Liberals are welcome as well. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. If you favor uncensored dialogue where you can criticize anybody in this program, including yours truly, follow the program if you're watching us on Facebook, TikTok, or Instagram. If you're currently watching us on YouTube, give your boy a sub. We're here most weekdays. This is what we do, uncensored programming. Dems shut it down, not Trump. Okay? There may be, well, listen, we can word it any kind of way. I mean, true enough, the Dems are going to be responsible for the shutdown. But why would they vote to keep the government open if there's nothing in it for the Dems? I don't know why they wouldn't vote to shut it down. Let me go back to the box and tap the screen, get us up to 45,000. We'll make it happen with the one and only Andy. Good evening, Andy. Welcome to the program. By the way, folks, help your boy out with the TikTok cap goal. Show your boy some love.
Hello.
Andy, good evening.
From what I understand, there's other things in that bill, like healthcare funding, y'all. So y'all might want to look into that. Second of all, I want to go back to your first guest. It is not original to come up with an idea that is so full of shit that you have patted yourself on the back to think that you don't sound like the liberals or the Republicans. Because, sir, that's just bullshit what he said.
What did he say? What did he say that's making, what did he say? What are you talking about? Elaborate.
About him having his other hand.
Yeah.
Like, let's be serious.
Yeah.
Because you want to know who gave the best view of what happened before all this shit broke out? Of all people, the New York Post, with a headline that says Americans didn't vote for these scenes. When the New York Post is telling Donald Trump he's fucking up, there's a problem. And I'm sorry to the guy that said that Alex shouldn't have been there, blah, 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 blah. The man was standing on the other side of the street, minding his business, just videoing, not talking to those people at all. An ICE agent walked up to him first, started popping him in the chest and pushing him, and then all hell broke loose. So let's quit trying to put this on that man. And Tim, Renee Good's tires were turned away from him. We know this because when they pew-pewed her, she ran into other cars away from him and didn't hit it.
Well, Andy, let's be clear. Wait, Andy.
Bullshit.
Andy, let's.
Stop for 1 second.
No, let me push back. I'll say this. I don't believe Renee Nicole Good had to be shot one bit. I don't look at that scene and say, man, if he didn't kill her, he would be dead. No. But the idea that her tires were turning out, the officer can't see her. I mean, he's not looking down at her tires. Come on, wait a minute. Hold on, wait a minute. He sees a car coming in his direction.
Wait, sir. He was told prior to this, he was part of that 2013 investigation with ICE, where they were told they couldn't put themselves near the front of the car or even near it.
I get it.
Because they were doing it, hold on, they were doing it intentionally in 2013 to unalive people. And they got clocked for that. So they've already been clocked for this once. And why you want to push back on this so hard, I don't even know. Because we now see a second incident, which we know didn't have anything to do with the suspect. So that gives credence more to the first suspect didn't do anything, and they're just a bunch of
But
thugs.
you're not hearing what I'm saying, though. I absolutely
I'm not
believe.
saying that she should not have been pew-pew.
Yeah, I absolutely believe. I believe what he did, what he engaged in, was an
Right.
optional shooting. I think that if you're moving a car towards an officer, all this, where the wheel was turning away and all that, and even the point you made about they've been told not to stand in the way of a moving car. Even if you don't follow governmental policy and put yourself in danger, once you're in danger, you don't just sit there and perish because government policy say you shouldn't have been
He
there.
wasn't in danger because we see him move his phone from one hand to the other. We see him walk around. We see him standing level with the car when he pew-pews her. He wasn't in danger of getting run over if he's level with the car. So, sir, that's a bullshit lie.
I'm not
There was
sure.
no incident where that should have happened either. This is just ICE out here acting like the next day after that happened with Alex. Do you know who they sent out there? The National Guard. And the National
Yeah.
Guard was handing out donuts and hot chocolate. These people were all looking at the National Guard like, "What are you doing?" We're de-escalating the situation.
Yeah, but that was the National Guard operating on behalf of
That's
Tim
what
Walz.
de-escalation look, but I'm making
Yeah.
a point, Tim.
Yeah.
That's what de-escalation looks like. Not running across the street, shoving people in a lobby.
Yeah.
That's criminal. It's criminal for the cops. It's criminal for them. It's criminal. We need to call it what it is. It's a fucking crime. Any other cop would be held accountable. You put one bullet in somebody, it's a problem. You put 10 in them, Jesus Christ, Tim, that's overkill to the
Well,
ninth power.
but that's, you got multiple dudes shooting at you, Andy. You're going to get
Right,
hit.
But it was them that discharged the weapon, which makes it worse. Because they were all so... No. It didn't take 6 of them to do it. That shows that they're not trained.
I'm not.
It shows
I'm not defending what happened to Alex Preddy. I think we are in total agreements in regards to what happened to Alex Preddy. I
just want to make sure the audience hears that Jeremy was full of shit. That's all. Just making sure I clock that shit.
Well, I will say this before we move on. I believe that what happened with Renee Nicole Good, let's say something like that, a situation like that happened in San Antonio or happened in Colorado Springs somewhere. I'm not sure, Andy, that a jury would convict a cop under that exact circumstance.
Oh, they would. It's happened in Alabama. And you know what they called it? Pissing off the police is not a fucking crime, is what the judge said. So, I mean, not even in Alabama can you get away with that shit.
Wasn't she trying to run away from the cops?
Huh?
Wasn't she trying to run away from the cops?
One was telling her to leave and one was telling her to stay. What do you do? I mean, you got conflicting, yelling people at you. She wasn't near him. He was away from her car. He was level with her car. He had no reason to pew her. That's bullshit. Plus, like I said, he was part of the investigation in 2013 where they were doing that so they could unalive citizens on purpose. So if you're part of that investigation and you're part of this investigation, something leads back to you have a problem and should be dismissed from your job. That's first and foremost.
Yeah, like I said, if I was a family wanting to get justice, I would much rather be part of the Preddy family than the Renee Nicole, whatever her Good family, because like I said, she was obstructing justice. Her car's parked. I mean, look, I'm not saying I made it clear. I don't think she should have been popped.
Hold on, wait. Before you say that, cars passed around her. She wasn't obstructing anything. They clocked her and told her to stop. Cars were moving around her.
Yeah.
She wasn't.
Why are they moving around her though, Andy? They're moving around her because she's blocking the street.
Her.
Oh.
She said something to them prior. They stopped her. They didn't like what her wife said. There's video of that too. There's a whole video of what her wife said. And then he pew-pewed her because of what his wife said. Pissing off the police is not a goddamn crime.
So you're telling me she never had any intention to block traffic at all?
It is my contention that they stopped her because they wanted to continue that fight. And then it turned ugly.
Yeah, I see her literally waving
Same deal
people
with
around.
this dude. This dude pissed off the police, and what happened to him? He was across the street. There's now videos of ICE sitting behind cars, throwing throwing snowballs at people just walking down the street, minding their own goddamn business. Looking where the snowballs are coming from. Like when you got like throwing snowballs at citizens that aren't even fucking protesting, that are just walking down the street, you have a fucking problem.
Yeah, but Stevie D in the comments asked a really good question. Are you suggesting they stopped Renee Nicole Good in a perpendicular way like she was parked? How do you stop somebody like that?
I suggest that they not have stopped her at all. They told her to go on. They only stopped her.
No, but how did she end up
No,
with...
no. In America, we have the right to the First Amendment. Just because she said something doesn't give them the right to violate her Fourth, her 10th. You know, like, why are you up here supping for violating the Constitution?
I'm not disagreeing with you on you have a right to talk shit against the police. Where you and I are disagreeing is you're indicating that she was not trying to stop traffic. How did she get in that position to begin with?
She wasn't stopping traffic, though, because it was going around her. So if it was going around her...
Why is she parked like that?
I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Why is she...
You obviously...
I'm trying to get clarity. I'm trying to get clarity. Why is she...
You made up your mind.
No, I'm not.
She's at fault for her own demise.
No, I'm not. I'm asking, why is she parked like that?
We will never have all of the evidence because, like before, we don't have body cameras and things like that. But regardless, she was unarmed. They didn't have the right to unalive her, and he was perpendicular with the car.
Okay, that part I agree with. I don't think taking anybody's life, suggesting that the car's coming toward me, I got to take your life. Because a deceased driver is not going to stop. Popping her in the head is not going to make her put on the brakes or turn the car away from me.
She ran into a whole row of cars and endangered them. So they endangered 10 more people with that shot.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what happened to the people in the cars. And there could have been somebody standing in front of one of those cars, and they could have been unalive too. Those cops cared not. They didn't give two fucks.
Yeah, I don't. And to me, it makes no sense to pop somebody under the guise they're trying. The only way I would suggest actually taking a driver's life is if you felt that they were, not only if they missed you, they were going to back up and keep trying to come at you. Then I could understand. But she was just trying to drive off, so I don't see why we're popping her. If a cop is standing in front of a vehicle and he thinks his life is in danger, the best move is to jump out of the way of the car. A deceased driver is still going to run you over. So it makes no sense to take their life. I don't understand that.
But like we said, you see him perpendicular with the car. He wasn't in front of it. So at that point, why did he shoot her?
Because he could.
Answer that one. He was perpendicular with the car. You need to look up perpendicular. That means he wasn't in front of it. He was side by side. If I used a big word you don't understand, let me make sure I clear that up.
And in the comments, Poe Bill says, Tim, you from the hood. You never had to go around people because they stopped in the middle of the road. No, you don't stop in the middle. You don't. If the street is going this way, you don't stop like this.
Somebody suggested she was making a 3-point turn because she lived there. But I don't know that to be true, so I'm not going to say that. But that is what others are saying.
Well, if you're making a 3-point turn, you don't wave people around in front of the car. You would go forward and get out of their way.
Well, you do if you're scared. I mean, you can't. You don't know that, Tim.
I think what happened to her was wrong, but she was stopping traffic. I think
yelling at you around your car, giving you conflicting orders. You don't know what you do, and don't say you would.
We can go there. I'm just simply saying I believe it's pretty obvious she was trying to stop traffic. We can talk about all this other stuff, and I agree with you on a lot of that, but she was certainly blocking traffic.
But you haven't seen the entire video. We don't know what went on before that. That's speculation, and speculation wouldn't be allowed in court, Tim. So you just have to throw that.
Now you sound like the first caller talking about we need to see the arm of Alex Preddy before we can make a decision.
Well, no, not the arm. We just need to see 5 minutes of video footage before that because we don't know how she got in that position.
Well, I would submit to you there is video footage. There is minute. Hold on, hang on. I will submit to you there is several minutes of video footage before Renee Nicole Good lost her life to show that she was parked there. It wasn't some 3-point turn. She was parked there blocking traffic.
No, I said the comment said that. I said I didn't know that.
Oh.
And if you have video that shows otherwise, please send it to me. You know I'll watch it.
Yeah.
All
right.
And by the way, Tim, there's your first guest saying he regretted voting for Trump. Now you can tell me you're sorry for telling me that you thought I was not being honest before. Yep. There's a whole bunch of those on TikTok.
I don't, you know something? I don't get. I think he is the only guest I have that voted for Trump that openly
Well,
admits
you have
that.
a lot of diehards on here. You have like on our panels, we have people that are much more willing because of your audience and numbers and all. They're not like they can come to you very often.
What are you saying? I got more diehard MAGA.
Yeah, because look at some of the shit they write. Like even now with all the things you said about Alex, they're calling him a thug, a red rummer. Like the man was standing on his side of the road minding his business. Why is ICE throwing snowballs at people walking down the street minding their business?
Yeah,
Like,
that's
why
crazy.
are they agitating?
Is there a video? I haven't seen it. Is there a video of them
Yeah,
throwing
that
something?
was on ABC News last night.
Wow.
ABC News. It's really easy to go find. That not even a local creator. And let's talk about those creators that were getting paid. The creators that got paid that we found out about were all on the right. It was Tim Pool, Benny Johnson, that crew that got almost 10 million from Russia. Wasn't the left. Let's stop lying about both sides of the bird, okay? It wasn't the left that's got a bunch of money coming in from Russia to pay us to say shit. I ain't seen a dime. I don't know anybody that's gotten a Soros check. I ain't seen a penny. Like, come on now. Tell me where to get my check.
Yeah, I put in just while you were talking on YouTube, ICE throwing snowballs. From what I'm seeing, all of these things claim that it was the bystanders throwing snowballs at ICE. You're saying ICE was throwing snowballs at the people.
Go look at ABC News last night. These people are walking down the street, a husband and a wife, minding their own business. A snowball comes over a truck, hits dude in the head. He turns around, and he's looking at his wife. ICE is back there laughing. That's what ABC News put on the TV last night.
I'm looking on YouTube and I'm not able to find it, but I do find plenty of videos of people throwing shit at ICE.
News.
I did put ABC
Well,
News.
I'll send you the clip. This was last night's
Okay.
news. It shouldn't be that hard for you to find.
Fair enough, but I mean, there's plenty of video of people throwing snowballs at ICE. I do see that. So
Yeah, but ICE is out here breaking our fucking amendments. Why are they throwing snowballs at people that aren't even protesting?
they got
Those
immunity.
people were not even protesting them. Like them and the protesters understand the animosity between them. But regular people just walking down the street, you can't tell me that these people are trained at all in any kind of conflict de-escalation, even in law enforcement. Look at how they took that guy down. There is no sign of any kind of training there at all. We just released a bunch of jack thugs on the street to let them do whatever and the Constitution be damned.
No, I think we know that they reduced the amount of training that from what the normal requirement was. In the comments, real quick though, Live Squad Nation says just went to ABC. I see no articles about snowballs being thrown from ICE. Only snowballs are being thrown at them, which is kind of what I'm seeing too. So one of the
Well,
viewers.
hold on. Let me pull it up. I have the TV right here. It's still on, so we can fix that.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see that. I haven't seen that. But I mean,
Because
I don't believe it's impossible.
Hold on, Tim. I'm so fucking chipped that up from the bullshit coming from the right. Because let's be honest, the speech that came out from Noam and the other guy, where's that damn video? History. They said the exact same words, word for word.
You mean the
Christy
domestic
Howell
terrorists?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. 3 minutes after it came out, when it is word for fucking word.
Yeah, like we obliterated Iran. That's kind of like when Trump said we obliterated Iran, and they all started saying obliterate. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you on
3
that.
minutes afterwards, so they got together and had a prepared statement, did no investigation, and just came out and lied. And now we know that everything they said's a lie. So it's looking like Holman and not Holman.
You mean Bovino?
Bovino and Noam, and Noam's little friend. The one that don't even really have a job with the government anymore. The one that just stayed. Her little blood buddy that's married while she's married. What's his name?
I'm trying to think who you're talking about.
Is it Eric or? He's always with her. Does anybody know his name? All of them might have to go.
Well,
So I mean, that means Trump knows.
Yeah, I don't.
He
You know,
should
so
get rid of
what,
her.
them, and I said this earlier in the show. I don't.
Corey Lewandowski. Thank you,
Okay.
comments. Yes, Corey Lewandowski. Corey, Christy Nome, and Bovino are probably all going to bite the dust over this because they lied.
I don't know
And the
what.
right
Yeah, but I don't know what.
they lied, you'll be better off.
I don't know what Bovino did wrong, Andy. I really don't. I don't know why he's.
Walking around acting like he's a little H-Man Schmittler. He did quite a bit. I'll send you videos.
Okay.
Like, I can't even, like...
Okay, let me explain the point I'm making to you.
Schmittler.
Let me explain the point I'm making to you. I hear the whole Schmittler and his jacket. The point I'm making is I don't think Bovino was doing anything against the wishes of President Trump. I just think him working on behalf of Trump caused something that was unpopular. And when it started getting national attention, Trump needed a fall guy, and they threw Bovino under the bus. But I bet you Bovino probably got letters of commendation from Trump.
Are you saying that Trump's a little Schmittler? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that Bovino was not doing anything against the wishes of Trump. I believe it once
Right.
he became
So
unpopular.
basically, I'm very happy to hear you say that Trump's a little Schmittler. Thank you.
I didn't.
That makes me feel much better because that is what's going on. So you're saying that Bovino's only doing what Trump wants him to. You're saying that Trump's the brown shirts. Got
Well,
it. Check.
well, I didn't interpret it as being Schmittler. You did. That's where the difference is.
Well, Tim, don't you know what's being said about Bovino everywhere? He's the head of the brown shirts.
Ouch.
So if he's the head of the brown shirts, that makes Trump Schmittler. And if you agree with that, well, and if you think it came straight from Trump, then you agree that Trump's a little Schmittler. Thank you. I appreciate that you finally agree with that.
Well, and I got to move it on shortly, but in defense of Bovino, let me just say this, because everybody was talking about his coat looked like he's part of the Third Reich. There's plenty of video footage of him wearing that coat as far back as like 5 or 6 years ago. He was wearing it, I believe, under the Obama
Clearly,
administration.
people that have racist white supremacy ideology, that didn't just happen because Trump got in office. He found those people and put them into play. See, yeah, you're catching on. They were always that way. Got it. Yeah, you do know. So you do know that Trump went out and found the worst of the worst to put in those jobs. Good job, Tim. I'm proud of you today.
I gotta go. I'll leave it at
You're
that.
not bluffing and you're actually on point. Thank God.
Andy, it is always a pleasure. You don't make it easy. Thanks for coming through.
Love you, bye.
Same. By the way, tap the screen, get the likes on up to a lot of lazy thumbs in here, huh? Tap the screen, get the likes on up to 70,000. Help your boy out with the TikTok cap goal. If not, the hat and mustache helps out with the program. Real quick before we move on to make sure I didn't miss any super chats. Her name is Corey. He's right over here and works for it. Okay, I don't know what you're talking about. Continuing on though, I did point out earlier in the program that I'm trying to figure out, by the way, what is the difference between Alex Preddy and the likes of Kyle Rittenhouse? If bringing a firearm to a protest is wrong, why did Kyle Rittenhouse get so much better treatment from the right? By the way, Kyle Rittenhouse was invited to meet with President Trump, as you see here on my screen. What did Alex Preddy do in bringing a firearm to a protest, which he didn't brandish or anybody didn't even know he had it on him, whereas Kyle Rittenhouse was open carrying? Why is Alex Preddy getting treated different than Kyle Rittenhouse, who got to meet with the president? Better yet, what about the married couple I mentioned here earlier? They're at a protest in St. Louis, a BLM protest in St. Louis. The husband is carrying a long rifle. It looks like I'm going to say an M16 or something like that. I'm not well versed on this. I may be making an error, but it looks like in something from the M series, M16 or something of that nature, or whatever the case may be. Maybe an AR. You guys let me know. But they brought this to a protest. That's an AK. That's not an AK, is it? Wow. Okay. It's got the forward banana clip. Okay. They brought this to a protest. They got invited to speak at the RNC, pictured here. They got actually invited to speak at the Republican National Convention. Once again, people bringing firearms to protest. Last but not least, the Michigan mask mandates. I showed you a picture of this earlier. They didn't like the fact that the state of Michigan was requiring social distance and wearing masks and all of the shit coming from Fauci which was part of the Trump administration, to be honest with you. So they didn't like the mask mandates coming down the pipe. They showed up to the Michigan State building. All of them, as you see here, are brandishing long rifles. All of them are. ARs and various other types of long rifles. All of them are. In fact, one of the guys at the end here, let me see there. Yeah, one of the guys at the end there, it looks like he's brandishing a weapon with a fucking silencer on it. So, I don't know. I'm asking again, this guy here on the far left, what is different about these people than Alex Preddy? They're all bringing firearms to protests. What is the difference between them and Alex Preddy? Because somebody let me know. And by the way, they didn't just show up with firearms. They all got on masks, balaclavas, and all kinds of, so they're concealing their identity as well, which is even worse. Why is Alex Preddy getting treated different? I want to know from you folks. Let me go back to the box. We'll move the show on. By the way, tap the screen. We'll go to MAGA Reacts. Good evening, MAGA. Welcome to the program. Most have blue wrenches next to their names. Yes, what do you got?
How can you get so much so wrong in so little time?
You're going to correct
First
it.
of all, that couple were at home. That's their house. They were at home, and then these protesters decided to basically break through their backyard and walk through their backyard. So those two were at home, the guy with the gun and his wife, whatever.
Okay. I am aware that they said people were fucking with their gate. But what about Kyle Rittenhouse and the Michigan mask mandate protesters? They were not at home.
Well, Rittenhouse, again, he didn't go anywhere near law enforcement. And when he did, obviously they knew he was armed. They didn't get surprised.
Wait a minute. Wait, hold on. I'm being told it's wrong to bring a firearm to a protest. All the other shit you're talking about is irrelevant.
You shouldn't.
No, that's what Kristi Noem Trump is saying. You don't bring a firearm to a protest.
He says you shouldn't. Not that it's illegal or you can't, is that you shouldn't.
Then why the hell? So if you shouldn't bring a firearm to a protest, why is he meeting with Kyle Rittenhouse, who did just that?
Because he did. Kyle Rittenhouse didn't go around provoking anybody. These people were chasing him.
We're talking about a firearm at a protest.
Alex was running away from
No. Now you're throwing in words like provocation. We're talking about merely bringing a firearm to a protest.
I have no problem with bringing a firearm to protest.
Then why is Alex Preddy?
You have to behave.
I'm not getting clarity. If it's wrong to bring a firearm to a protest, why is Kyle Rittenhouse getting treated differently?
I never said it was wrong to.
The president
bring
did.
A firearm to a protest.
The president and Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem said it's wrong. Why are they saying that?
She says you shouldn't. Not that it's wrong or illegal, that you shouldn't do it, especially if you're going to be provoking ICE. Rittenhouse he didn't go to the protest thinking I'm going to be in the face of ICE and be recording them and be on top of them. I mean, this man was on top of ICE. He was in their face.
You're saying Alex Preddy was in the face of ICE and was on top of them?
Did you not? Okay, this is the other problem. There's two videos. One of them is 5 to 10 minutes before the incident. Another one 3 minutes before the incident. And in both videos, he's right in their face. There's one where he gets, ICE basically pushes him back to the sidewalk and tells him to stay on the sidewalk. And then the second one, they're arresting someone, and he's hovering over them, arguing with them. So what you saw was the third time. After they warned him twice, what you saw when he was unalived was the third time he was messing with them.
I don't see, not only before he lost his life, I see him get bear spray and then they immediately start beating him up. You're telling me that was all justified?
That was the third time he ran into them.
Okay, the third time. So you're saying because he did it 3 times, it justified beating him about the head. Are you saying it was justified?
I mean, they were trying to arrest him because he was obstructing and impeding them. This was the third time he was obstructing them.
I hear the third. I'm not arguing with the third time. What I'm saying is, on that third time, they immediately bear sprayed him, and began beating him. You're saying that because it was 3 times, that bear spray and that beating was justified. Is that what I'm hearing?
I mean, he's a big dude. They were trying to bring him down. And
6 dudes.
Basically, he was resisting. Although he was resisting without violence, he was still resisting.
I'm still not getting a solid answer. Was the bear spray and the beating justified?
I mean, for them it is. I don't think.
I'm asking for you. You're the one that we're talking to. Do you believe the bear spray and the beating was justified based on what you've seen?
I wouldn't have done it. I don't think it's justified.
Okay.
Although, no, I don't think it's justified.
All right. So you do believe they went
It's
overboard?
not like a large crowd or anything.
Yeah.
But what does that have to do with anything?
Well, it's 6-on-1. First of all, why are you bear spraying the guy when it's 6? So you talking about he's a big
well,
dude?
it started 1-on-1, and then it became 6-on-1 because it was time to arrest him because it's the 3rd time he's obstructing and impeding us.
I'm trying to see how does 6-on-1 require you having to beat him in the head? You said he was so strong that 6 dudes had the result of beating him in the head to take him into custody?
Pretty much, because he was resisting.
You resisting arrest does not entitle you to getting beat about the head, MAGA.
Well, that's usually what happens from every other cop interaction I've ever seen.
That's
I mean,
not
you guys
true.
say all these cops are racist, but when they do it to white people, you're like, are they still racist if they're doing it to white people? They're treating that white guy just like they treated all the other people of all kinds of color before.
It's a
And
good.
all those other times you guys said they were racist. That's why they did this and this.
That's a
Now
good.
they're
That's a
finally
good
doing it to white
question.
people to prove that they were never racist.
No,
because
no,
of
wait a
the
minute. No,
color
no,
you
let
are.
me-
If you do what these people did, you're gonna get the
No,
result.
no. The idea that they're beating up a white person, that doesn't mean they're racist. I gotta disagree with you by the simple fact of, have you ever heard of the phrase "N-word lover"?
No, I mean I'm saying they're.
Have
not
you heard of
racist.
that
I'm
phrase
saying they were
before,
never
though?
racist.
Have you
But
heard of that
what does
phrase
have to do with
"N-word"?
anything?
Have you heard of the phrase "N-word lover"?
Sure.
Okay.
Why does it have to do with anything?
Because if you're white and you're fighting on behalf of minority causes, they're going to treat you like a minority. Racist people beat N-word lovers, even if they're white. You still the KKK. They've taken the life of white people for fighting on behalf of black causes. So what I'm saying is,
And
go ahead.
how are we ever gonna prove that they're doing it because the way they're acting, not because they're whatever?
You can't prove it. But what I'm saying is, you also can't prove that they're not
Because we come up
racist.
with bullshit every time we prove it.
No. You
I mean-
cannot prove that they were racist. What I'm saying is, because folks who are racist view whites that help minorities the same way they view minorities, there's no way to prove they're not racist either.
But there's hardly any minorities involved. I mean, he's messing with ICE. They don't know he's armed, but he's armed messing with them. And then they find out he's armed while they're trying to arrest him. And then supposedly his toy goes off by itself because it's funny enough, I've seen a lot of videos about that particular toy going off on its own.
Well,
So supposedly the story is his toy went off, and that's what caused everyone else to basically do what they did.
Well, your point that there are no minorities involved is patently false. The only reason ICE is in Minneapolis is due to minority causes. The Somalis, the folks that are here illegally, the whole reason they're existing doing this stuff is to go after minorities. That's the only reason they're there. So the folks that are protesting that happen to be white are literally fighting on behalf of minorities. They are N-word lovers to a lot of people.
That's bullshit because I've seen.
What are they there for? What is ICE in Minnesota for? You tell me. What are they there for?
No, you're right about that part, but the fact is, anytime anyone behaves like this with police, this is what happens.
No.
Anytime someone is big and hostile and in the face
Why do you
of
keep
police,
saying that? Why do you
this
keep
is
saying he
what-
was big? Why do you keep saying
He's
that?
a
That
big
guy,
dude. He's hovering above everybody. He's taller than everybody there.
that guy wasn't
He's
even.
not a big dude. He's not a tiny fucking dude. He's taller than everyone there.
You making it sound like this dude was my size. That dude don't even think he was 200 pounds. That guy is 6 dudes.
He's a big dude, man. I'm fucking 5'8", fucking 200 pounds. He's a fucking big dude.
Listen,
He's like probably.
I'm not seeing what you're seeing. In fact,
But either way, what does that have to do with? Listen, you behave like that with cops. I don't care what color you are. I don't care the reason they're there. You're gonna get the same results. If you have a concealed and you don't tell them about it, and they get surprised and find it midway while they're tussling with you, there's a good chance you're going to get the same results. I don't care what the color of the person is.
Yeah, I vehemently disagree. Jackson, appreciate the TikTok cap. A few of you guys are showing the show some love, so thank you. I disagree with you because there are plenty of videos to show. Look,
Can I show you something though? You see my video?
No, I don't.
This
Hang on a
is the
second.
first incident. This is where everything started, right here.
And the guy's backing up. What do you mean? The ICE agent is backing him up. He's not in his
But
face.
that happened like 10 minutes before.
Right.
It was 10 minutes before.
But the ICE agent isn't. Your video shows the ICE agent in his face, not vice versa.
Yeah, the ICE agent is telling. Well, they're both in each other's face.
No, they're not.
The
Your
ICE
video shows the ICE agent taking steps forward and him constantly taking steps backwards. They're not arguing with each other. The guy is in retreat. Show me a video where he's in his face.
Again, he's in their face. He's
I don't-
not backing up.
That ain't what you
Whatever.
just showed me.
You're like
Show me
being
the
very
motion video
manipulative.
again. Show me the motion video you just showed. The motion video.
They are face to face.
Show me the motion video. I don't want you to narrate it. I want you to narrate it. Show me the motion video.
Yeah. They're in each other's
No,
face.
he's not. If the ICE agent stops, that dude is backing up. If the ICE agent
Either or, that's not the point. I don't care about
You
that.
said he's in his
Whatever it is,
face.
I told him to record and protest from the sidewalk.
the
He
only
was supposed to keep his ass on the sidewalk, and he kept moving to the middle of the
the
street.
only reason that they're face to face is because the ICE agent is taking a step forward for every step he takes back. The ICE agent is literally keeping their face to face
sir.
conversation engaged.
Let me finish.
Show
It's
me.
an active crime scene, and they want all the pedestrians, all the protesters on the sidewalk.
I wish you
They
guys
did
could
not
see this
mess
on
with a
YouTube,
single
by the way.
person standing on the sidewalk, where there's a bunch of people on the sidewalk. They didn't touch them. They didn't.
You told me he's
Right
in
now,
his
they didn't do
face,
anything.
MAGA. You said he's in his face. Show me a motion video of him in his
Well,
face.
here, this is the second part where he's definitely in their face.
No, I don't see
They're arresting
it.
someone,
Show me
and
it.
he's,
Okay.
like, in their face.
Where
Not letting them
he's
do
still
their
not
job.
in it. He's not in his face right there. Show me the video where he's in the face. You keep saying he's in his face,
Okay,
but
forget that part. Forget I said he's in their face. Forget that part. The important part is they told him to keep his ass to the sidewalk. And the other important part is he didn't just show up to defend this woman. He's been there for 10 minutes arguing with ICE. How about this? He's
They-
arguing with ICE. Can
It's
I
not-
say
it's-
that without you nitpicking it?
there's no crime with arguing with law enforcement, MAGA. There is zero crime to that. This guy didn't do nothing wrong. Based on this guy didn't do
You're
nothing
not
wrong.
supposed to go around arguing with ICE while they're trying to arrest someone. I mean,
He is not black. I don't see any video you showing me of him impeding them or doing anything. They're taking time out of their schedule to fuck with him. They're not tending to anybody. They're fucking with
They go
him.
to his house, Tim. You guys keep comparing these guys to.
Show me a video of him doing something wrong.
Did the Yahtzees? Let me ask you something. Did MLK go around?
Oh my
being
God.
Racist and whistling in their faces?
I'm going to shrink you because you know what were you saying again?
Did MLK go around looking for racist cops and started whistling in their faces? Is that how the civil rights movement went?
You know they
went around to
you,
cops.
I
and
mean,
started just whistling and annoying them while they're just doing their job.
you understand MLK went out just like Alex Preddy. So what's your point? They still killed him. You're trying to say he
No, that's not the same thing.
Yeah, it is the
He went
same
out
thing.
Giving a speech to a bunch of people. He didn't go out while stalking cops around. He didn't go around following cops everywhere, whistling in their face. He was giving a speech to a bunch of his people. How are you going to compare that? I mean, you guys get mad when you compare CK to MLK. At least CK was also giving a speech to a bunch of people.
CK was not fighting for anybody's rights. CK was just going around talking shit about black people. No, I don't compare him to MLK. That's
Whatever
crazy.
you might think of him, he was talking to his people, and someone showed up to his event and unalived him.
Hey, what-
CK wasn't going around following, CBP and cops around whistling in their face. MLK wasn't going around chasing cops around and whistling in their faces.
And
But anyway, I just want to kill this narrative that this guy just showed up and started protecting a woman out of nowhere. He's there for
You
a whole
did a-
10 minutes
you did a-
before.
you did a piss poor job clearing that narrative up with your video talking about they're in each other's face, and you show ICE being aggressive than a motherfucker, trying to make it sound like they're in each other's face.
But guess what? After all of this, they left him alone. They left him alone and went back to his car. And what is he doing? Is he staying his ass on the sidewalk? No, he's on the street again. They pushed him to the sidewalk.
You know something though. Even in the video, there was a parked car where they ended up doing this to him. He's standing in the street, but he's not preventing any traffic from passing. There's a parked car right there. There was no reason to do that to that dude.
They told him to stay on the sidewalk. They kept telling him to stay on the sidewalk. Well, because they're arresting somebody, and they're literally about to leave. But again, they find him on the street after telling him to stay on the sidewalk.
They had 6 motherfuckers to go over there and fuck with him like that. Who the hell were they arresting? They obviously left that person alone. I mean, you send 6 dudes to this guy.
You're missing. They're arresting a dude right here. They're literally arresting someone, and he's on top of them. I mean, who the fuck stands over the shoulder of a cop while they're arresting someone?
So let me ask you.
No space. Look how close he is to these. These guys are arresting an illegal immigrant, as far as I know. And
that's the woman that got pushed to the ground, MAGA. That's the woman that shoved to the ground.
This is not that. This is an arrest that happened before. This is way before. I'm telling you.
No, it's not.
This is the second incident. There was 3 incidents before he was unalive. This is incident number 2.
Let me ask you, what happened to him? Was it, because you're coming up with all this shit, was it a justifiable act? Was all of their actions toward him justified?
I mean, I don't think it was justified, but it was avoidable. All he had to do was tell them that he was armed, so they don't get surprised when they find it. All he had to do was stay on the sidewalk.
All they had to do was ignore his ass. I mean, okay, he's in the street.
How could they ignore him?
I'm trying to answer you. He's in the street filming them, so he's obviously not. Whoa, Jackson, thank you, appreciate that. He's in the street filming them, likely maybe yelling something. All you got to do is turn a blind eye to that. Bovino was in Target with a bunch of security. People were cussing him out. He just ignored them. That's all he had to do. They decided, as opposed to ignoring him, they were going to go over there and fuck with him. And that's how this all happened. He wasn't breaking any laws. They asked him to stay in the street. They could have easily walked past the dude and ignored him. They decided because he is not letting them punk him out, they're going to go over there and fuck with him. And that's where all this came from.
Well, it has nothing to do with punking him out. They gave him the directions of stay on the sidewalk. Look how close to the sidewalk he is. Does he really need to be in the fucking street?
What is him standing there?
From these people is to stay on the sidewalk.
Wait a minute. So him taking a couple steps into the street was worthy of sending 6 dudes to come fuck with him?
No, that was the 3rd time. It wasn't the first time.
So he don't step in the street.
Paid a lawful order to stay out of their crime scene and to stay on the side of the road.
So he don't step in the street. So according to you, he don't step in the street 3 times, and you're saying that justifies sending 6 dudes over to him.
I mean, being a big guy is justified sending 6 dudes.
That dude ain't that big.
It takes a lot of people to arrest a man that big.
That dude is not big. I don't know why you keep saying he's big.
He might not be bigger than you, but he's still a big dude. He's bigger than every one of those ICE agents. Those fucking ICE fuckers I mean, the only reason they look big is because they got all that fucking gear on. But without that gear, they're fucking tiny compared to this guy. He has no gear on, and he looks that big.
You actually got me wondering what his height and weight was, because I don't see anything about him that suggests he's all fucking big like that.
In every fucking scene, he's standing tall over everybody.
Okay, he may be a couple inches.
How much taller he is than everybody.
It don't look like they're arresting Shaq to me, based on what you're saying.
I mean, he's not fucking Shaq, but he's still taller and bigger than every one of them.
6.
Come on, look at this.
6
look where
dudes.
his head is and look where their heads are.
Okay.
I mean, look at this guy. Look how much lower this guy is. He's not a fucking small dude. This is a fucking giant ass dude.
6 dudes.
I mean, there's not a single photo of him.
All of this stems from he stepped in the street for a 3rd time. That's all he did wrong, is he stepped in the street for a 3rd time.
He made a lawful order to film and record from the side. He's allowed to film.
You're saying the same thing I'm saying. All of this is about him stepping in the street. That's it. He hasn't thrown anything at anybody.
Impeding ICE.
All of this is no, he ain't impeding them at all. He's in the street.
He's
That's
impeding them.
How?
He's
How?
on top of them while they're trying to arrest the man.
He's
They
not.
have to stop what
Show me a
they're
video of
doing
that.
to
Show.
make sure he doesn't violate their perimeter.
Yeah. Okay.
They literally, right here, while they're arresting a man, this guy has to go out of his way to make sure he does not interfere in this arrest. How is that not impeding them?
I gotta tell you, MAGA. I don't.
I mean, they're trying to, even with that lady, they're trying to get her ass to the sidewalk, and he gets in their way and stops them from getting her to the sidewalk. I see
the comments. Bruce.
For ICE to ask him to just be on the sidewalk, I don't think that's a crazy ask.
I see in the comments. Bruce says. Bruce says this guy is in. I see in the comments. Bruce says this guy. Oh no! Hang on! God damn it! Bruce says this guy is an idiot, and I see Jay Blaze says huge idiot. Listen, based on what you're talking about, you first started out by saying that he was in their face. You didn't prove that was so. This amounts to them being
What
in.
is this? They're face to face. Look at this.
No,
What do
no,
you
they're
call
not.
this?
No, they're not face to
What do you
face.
call this? What do you call this?
I call that
arguing with them?
he is arguing with the police, but the police are walking up on
How
him.
close is their faces?
You're not hearing me. You're not hearing me out.
How much
You're not.
space
Once
is
again,
his
you're
face?
just rambling on. You're not hearing me out. The point I'm making is you showed a video of the cop constantly walking in his face over and over. He could be yelling while that's happening to lead to this photo, but the cop is clearly walking in his face. The guy is walking back in your video.
This is completely separate than that.
In your
This
video.
happened later.
In your video, the guy takes like 6 or 7 steps back, and ICE is taking a step forward each time. Him being big is clearly not a concern to them. They're clearly walking in the guy's face fucking with him. So bringing up that he's big.
That's why he didn't get maced or anything the first time.
Yeah.
They didn't mace him or hit him or anything the first time because he did walk backwards with them.
Your
But the
video.
second time, he doesn't seem to be walking backwards. He seems to be on top of them while they're arresting someone.
So if the first time he stepped onto the sidewalk or onto the street, they walked all in his face like that, they're already being aggressive. They're wrong the first time. Why? Okay, once he's off the sidewalk, why the fuck are you still walking in his face?
But then
You didn't answer that. You didn't answer
they
that.
didn't go to him. He
You
came
didn't.
to them. They didn't go
You
to
didn't
his
answer
house
that.
and
You didn't answer that. Once you tell him to get out of the street and he's walking backwards, why are you still walking in his face?
You're making sure he gets to the sidewalk. You make sure there's no misunderstanding. I want you here on the sidewalk. Stay on the sidewalk. You walk him all the way back to the sidewalk. I mean, have you never dealt with cops before? Have you never been pushed back?
I gotta go. I gotta go. We'll leave it like that. I gotta go. He said he's making sure he gets to the sidewalk. I'm gonna walk in his face, fucking with him all the way to make sure he
That's
gets
how
to
cops always behave. This isn't the first time I've seen this. I've seen it 1,000 times.
Okay, I gotta go. Thank you. MAGA. Appreciate it. Okay. Moving on with the program, by the way, tap the screen, get us on up to 95. Look, my last caller, I've seen a lot of folks in the comments that were not a fan of some of his points. But make no mistake about it, there's a hell of a lot of MAGA that agree with him. So he's not alone in how he feels. Obviously, I disagree, and many of you do too, but he is not alone in how he feels. I'm going to bring up what I mentioned earlier, the perspective of someone being a defender of minorities. I personally believe that's where a lot of the anguish is. That's why a lot of folks really don't give a shit what happens to these people. And I'm talking about even the white protesters, because they are defending the enemy. Remember, President Trump said these people are garbage, they're vermin, and they're poisoning the blood of our great nation. So any of these protesters that are against ICE doing their job, trying to hide out immigrants or let them stay, or any of this sympathizing with immigrants, in the eyes of some MAGA that are saying, yay, go ICE and ICE, ICE, baby, they're defending the enemy. So I don't believe that I don't think that a lot of folks that really cares what happens to these people, even if it's an unjustifiable shoot. It's still somebody that was defending the enemy. So One less to worry about. Wonder why a guy resisting cops with a gun got shot. I'm not aware of him resisting cops with a gun to neutral. I'm not, and that's not a very neutral point, but I'm not aware of him pulling a firearm. Look, he may as well have been unarmed throughout his encounter with police because there's no evidence to suggest he ever went for his firearm at all. So bringing up that he had a firearm when he never showed it to anyone and never reached for it or anything, I don't even know what's the purpose of bringing that up. So you can bring it up if you want, and thank you, Turtle Peace. Appreciate your support, their friend of the program. Thank you, Turtle Peace. Appreciate it. Tim, why don't you send officers back into the streets after a shooting? It's a good point. There's a host of reasons. First of all, adrenaline. You need to find out, make sure you're not dealing with a corrupt officer. You shouldn't send them back into the street after they've been in. Usually they go on desk duty until an investigation, and I mean they got to be cleared and all of that. So the ICE agents that were involved in the deaths of why am I about to say Ed and Nicole Smith? Renee Nicole Good. the officer involved in the death of Renee Nicole Good and the one in the death of Alex Preddy. All of the officers in the death of Alex Preddy, because there were several of them. They should all be taken off the streets until a full investigation comes up. My guess is they're probably out there somewhere. They may not be in Minneapolis anymore, but my guess is they probably are still serving ICE because they clearly want as many agents as possible. He may have sent them to Chicago or some other city that has a smaller ICE presence, but they really should be on desk duty until an investigation is finished. The problem is with the Secretary of Homeland Security and even the President of the United States himself quickly condemning the deceased by suggesting both Renee Nicole Good and Alex Preddy were domestic terrorists. I don't see how you get a fair investigation in this. The Trump administration has already blocked the state of Michigan from having any involvement in it whatsoever, and they've already condemned the deceased and defended the officer. So they've already gave you where they stand on this. I don't know what the purpose of an investigation is. They've already condemned the deceased and defended the officers. Did he even try to pull it? Says active game. No, I don't believe. Listen, you got 6 dudes on your back, all armed. You gonna reach for a firearm while you on the ground, and you've been bear sprayed, so your vision is probably no. This guy is not a common criminal. He was a veteran that was also an ICU nurse at the Veterans Administration. He had something to lose. People who normally do shit like that don't have anything to lose. Your common thug or criminal, they don't have anything. This dude was gainfully employed. I mean, he's making more money than the average American. I mean, he's an ICU nurse. He's gainfully employed. He has no criminal history. Does he sound like the kind of guy that would pull out a firearm on 6 officers? I think some of this is a stretch. Some of this is a stretch to try to defend what appears to be the indefensible. Real quick before I move on with the program here, I want to make sure I didn't miss anything here. A lot of incels in the chat. Turtle, some folks suggest that I'm one of those, but thank you, Turtle Peace, by the way. Tap the screen, get us on up over the 6-figure hump, get us up over 100,000. Real quick in the comments here, you probably shouldn't attack federal agents that are armed. I agree with that, but I don't believe there's any evidence suggesting that Alex Preddy ever attacked the officers. You see, my last guess, he was trying his best to defend the officers. He don't have any footage of them being attacked by this guy. The footage that we see, they immediately bear spray him. So his vision is already compromised. And within mere seconds, from the time they shoved the woman to the ground to the time he is dead on the ground is only a matter of a few seconds. So any resistance he was putting up, they escalated things super fast because there is a beating of Alex Preddy in between her being shoved to the ground and him being shot. They also were beating him about the head as well. That's also in there. All of this stuff happened in a matter of seconds. So if he put up some resistance, it was very quickly subdued in a matter of a few seconds. And then everything else was nothing but sheer violence being bestowed upon them. Looking in the comments here real quick, you should not talk to federal agents. You shouldn't talk to any law enforcement, to be honest with you there, Raymond. That is really good advice that any defense attorney will tell you, is to communicate with law enforcement as little as possible. By the way, folks, tap the screen, get us on up to 100,000. If you're watching us on Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok, feel free to follow the program. Happen to be watching on YouTube, give us a sub. We're here most weekdays. We're all about free speech. We are MAGA friendly. Liberals are welcome as well. This is uncensored programming, so we don't block, ban, or censor anybody's comments. Even if your comments are critical of yours truly. That's how free speech works. So if you favor free speech, you're in the right place. Follow the program, give us a sub. Real quick, before I go to the next caller, I was advised today by a viewer that YouTube now allows you to take callers. I really hope that's true. I have not been able to see or figure out how that's done. But just like on TikTok and Instagram, where we regularly take callers, I was told that you could do that on YouTube. And I really hope YouTube does that, because that's where most of my MAGA viewers are located. And I would love to talk to a hell of a lot more MAGA than what's on TikTok. Maybe that may change on TikTok, because MAGA were no fan of TikTok. But now that it's owned by friends of Trump, perhaps you may start seeing more MAGA moving over to TikTok. And you're certainly welcome on this program, regardless of what your opinion is. By the way, we are also on Rumble, X, and Truth Social, all under the same name, Handsome Liberal. I think two rights don't make a wrong with this situation, but the environment is created by both sides. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with the environment Terrell Kelly is created by both sides. Simply put, I don't see any justification for sending 3,000 ICE agents into that town. 5 times the size of their own local police. I don't see any reason for that many agents there. And in fact, if you look at their deportation numbers, they've barely deported 3,000 people. It's costing $18 million a day. What is it? Operation Metro Swarm, I think it's called, what they're calling that, Metro Swarm. $18 million a week to do what they're doing. So that's going to be easily $2+ million per day what they're doing in Minnesota. To net a few thousand deportees, I mean, it started out with this alleged Somali fraud. I haven't heard of any Somalis getting arrested. I don't see how you justify the expense. And in addition to the 18 million a week, let's be clear. Probably Renee Nicole Good and definitely Alex Preddy's families are going to get a few more million. Alex Preddy's family absolutely has a lawsuit settlement coming. I don't think you're going to find a jury at all to suggest that the federal government did nothing wrong in the death of Alex Preddy. And my guess is Renee Nicole Good's family may get some money as well. And there's a host of other people getting stopped just for speaking Spanish or where they're standing or their skin color. All of them folks have cases of their civil rights and stuff being violated. They all do. All they have to do is wait 3 years until Trump is gone. The statute of limitations will not have expired, and they all got cases. So this is going to end up costing a lot more that we don't know about. But all of them folks have cases. I always bring up that I wish I was Kilmar Abrego Garcia. That dude's going to be a millionaire. That dude they all have cases. All of these people that are being wronged on video, they all have cases. Anyway, let me continue on with, I can't see the name here. Some of your guys' names are pretty long. Lynn, I'll just go with 9741 says, that's nonsense. You are a complete fool. All right, well, if you think so, if you think stopping someone simply because they're speaking Spanish is not violating any of their rights, okay. All right, let's see what the court says. I guarantee you guys are going to be pissed. Once this stuff starts going into federal court, they're going to find sympathizers everywhere for this shit. Because there's a lot of Americans that do not want to be stopped because of where they are, the skin color they happen to be, or the language they speak. I don't think it would be hard to find juries anywhere that would award some of these folks decent payouts. Let me go back to the box. We'll make it happen with Straight Talk Commerce. Good evening, Straight Talk. Now, I'm sure you think I'm getting a few things wrong, right?
Of course. Come
Okay.
on. I mean, look, do you have a point? Can you find a jury in the United States to give people money that isn't theirs? Yes.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
Let me ask you this. If the family of Alex Pretty were suing for wrongful death and you were on the jury, would you award them
Put
anything?
me on that jury. He would go home with half a sandwich. Dude, stop. Stop.
So you believe that death, so you believe it's
I'm
justified?
not cutting you a check, Tim. I'm not cutting you a check for ending your own life.
So-
I'm not doing
So
that.
you believe Alex Pretty ended his own life? Explain.
100%.
Explain.
100%. 100%. I've watched that video a million times. There is no reason that he was there. He should have been at work. He should have been at the movies. He should have been. There's a million places he should have been.
So that accounts to a
On
death
that
sentence?
street, on that street that day. Well, look, I mean, if you're going to feed the lions, if you guys are the ones saying it. You're saying that ICE is out of control. You're the ones that are saying that. If you're going to feed the lions, then, when you become lion turds, that's what happens.
So
My wife and daughter are going to Minneapolis this weekend.
but Straight Talk, I'm under the impression, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sure you will, but I'm under the impression that you only use lethal force when the suspect is using lethal force to save a life. Do you believe they had to take Alex Pretty's life to save somebody?
No. That is not the argument at all. At all.
Why was his life taken?
But because you probably had people there that acted inappropriately. I don't know what was going through their minds.
Then why are you already at the guise of you would not award them anything? I mean,
Because, ma'am, here's why. Because you have no business being there interfering in their operation to begin with. You are someplace that you should not be. If you climb the gate at Area 51, you will be fill in the blank.
yeah, but there are signs on the gate of Area 51 that says no trespassing, you can lose your life.
If you have not gotten the message in the United States of America not to interfere with ICE, then
How
I
was
don't know
he
what to do for
interfering,
you.
though? How was he actually interfering? I see him holding up a phone. Interfering how?
Listen, if you see the activities of ICE going on, they are enforcing our laws. They are in the middle of enforcing the laws that you and I agreed to. My best advice to you, now take it, don't take it, it doesn't matter. But my very best advice to you is go the other direction. Do not interfere in the...
I get all of that, and I don't disagree with that. Let me give you an example. Let's say my brother done went out and committed a crime, and they don't showed up to the house to arrest him. And I grab the officer's hand and say, leave my brother alone. If that officer pops me in the head, you're saying that that is something that I deserved.
I'm not saying that you deserve it.
You wouldn't get, but you're saying that the family would not be able to sue for wrongful death if you're on the jury.
Listen to me.
I am.
We've talked about this before. I've had my own run-in with the police. You and we talked about this before. Okay?
I don't
Even
remember
when
you having to run in with the cops. I don't remember that part. And hang on a second. The handsome conservative, I didn't know you were in the queue. I do see that now. I see that. I'll acknowledge. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You don't remember me telling you? You don't remember me telling you about being in military uniform, my BDUs, traveling home? The police pulled me out of my car, slapped me upside my head. I was fully compliant. I did everything I was supposed to do. You don't remember me telling you that story?
No.
Okay. Well, that happened. I was going to National Training Center in the Army, the United States Army. I was in uniform at the time. 2:00 in the morning. I am speeding. I was guilty of speeding. No question about it. I was trying to get home to see my mama before I went on deployment.
Okay.
Pull me over on the 123, I think, freeway in Texas, right outside of Fort Hood. He thought I did not have my corrective lenses in. I had contacts in. The case was sitting on the dashboard of the car. He slapped me so hard, one of the contacts ended up on his boot.
So just for not having contacts, and he bestowed violence upon you.
I mean, dude came from downtown, cracked me in my skull, okay? I know that makes everybody in the comment section just happy as they can be.
Yeah, well, you're talking a lot of shit in defense of bad guys. So yeah, they're happy to hear you got hit. Yeah.
Okay, great. I'm happy to hear that this Alex character was messing around, doing something he wasn't supposed to, and it ended up costing him.
And you're happy. In your words, are you're happy about that?
Yes, because it should teach other people at no cost to them, don't do this. I love the Darwin Awards. I love it when people who are doing things they should not be doing find out.
So let me ask you then. You actually were happy when Ashley Babbitt got shot.
Yes, the one in the Capitol.
Yeah. Yeah.
Double portion. She was armed. She was armed when she went in my Capitol.
Was she? I didn't know she was armed.
She had a weapon. She had a weapon on her, a Pathfinder knife. Yes, absolutely.
Oh.
This is not political, Tim. This isn't political. I could not be more fair. You fuck around, you will find out.
I understand the fuck around and find out concept. I don't support the ridiculous escalation in violence because somebody was doing something they shouldn't have done. If you're
You know
interfering,
how many times I've been to Washington, D.C.?
of course
You know
not.
how many times I've been to Washington, D.C.?
Of course I don't
Yeah.
know. Why would I know?
Hundreds of times. And it has never once occurred to me to break into my nation's capital. I've toured that building.
Yeah, but wait, hold on. Straight talk. Yeah, I get the Ashley Babbitt comment, but what Alex Preddy was doing was so mild in terms of interfering with them guys. He was merely standing in the street. That's all he was doing. He wasn't even blocking them from doing their duties.
No. You're talking to someone who watched the video. That's not what he was
What
doing.
was he doing?
He was there interfering
How?
with their activity.
How was he interfering? By doing what?
He was recording them, stepping between them and the people that they were going after. He picked up somebody that had fallen, slipped in the snow that they had already
Picking
pushed
up
to the
somebody that has been pushed to the ground is interfering with the cops?
Already, we're talking about things. Listen, he was not just an innocent bystander, dude. He inserted himself into that situation.
You're telling me him?
Hold on. Just like if he walked into the middle of a bank robbery and he decided that he was going to help them make an escape. He was going to help the robbers make an escape. It's the same thing.
You're comparing him picking a woman up off the ground to helping a bank robber escape?
Yes. He had no business. Tell me the difference.
I'm trying to figure out why the woman was on the ground to begin with.
He shoved her on the ground.
Why?
The ICE officer. The ICE officer shoved because she was also interfering in their enforcement. Are you not watching the same video?
No, because if you got enough to send 6 dudes to go and jump on Alex Preddy, obviously whatever you were doing wasn't that special to begin with. I believe.
Hold up. You can disagree with what they were doing. That's fine. You can do it from 100 yards away. You can do a telephoto lens. You can disagree all day long. The fact of the matter is, I sent them to do what it is they're doing. You sent them to do what it is they are doing. If we get sued, you and I, if we get sued because they were doing what we asked them to do, and they were interfered with, I'm going to be upset at the people that got the money, not the ICE officers.
Well, I'll tell you, Vincent in the comments, Vincent X709 says, the caller is awesome, a true American, but Turtle Peace says, God grant me the strength not to go feral. So I don't, listen, the whole...
Listen, go feral. Go, but by all means, go out in your yard, rip off your clothes, go feral, act like an animal. Please do it in the presence of ICE officers while they're in the commission of their duties. Because some of y'all, we need to thin the herd. Some of y'all need to find out.
You know, I think you just want to see violence, Straight Talk.
I would like for, no. I don't want to see violence.
You're happy to see this guy lost. You're happy that this guy lost his life was your words.
No, I am not.
You just said you were happy.
Well, look, I'm being a little hyperbolic.
I think you're being a little violent. I think you're being a little violent.
Okay. What I would like is for you to tell your little leftist buddies to stop with all of the interference. When you don't see the right doing this.
Don't
kind of
fucking
thing.
say that. When they're trying to when they're trying to interfere with a swearing in of Joe Biden, when they're trying to interfere with the operations in the Michigan State House, they're trying to interfere with them taking down statues in Charlottesville. You got to do all of that.
And when it does happen, as in the case of Ashley Babbitt, I will call out my own side. I don't make excuses for her. I don't make excuses for the 1,600 people that got arrested and got found out. I don't.
It's interesting you would say that, because while you said you would not award Alex Preddy's family a dime, Trump awarded Ashley Babbitt's family $30 million.
Yeah, I get it.
So,
not happy about that.
All right, I'm just letting you know. So I'm telling you, a liberal president,
Did you find my name on that check? Did you find my name on that check?
No,
I
but
didn't sign off on that.
well, you voted him in so he could sign the motherfucking check.
I'll vote for him again. When he
All
runs
right,
again,
then.
I'm going to vote for him again.
All right, then. So when he does things that
Doesn't
you're
mean
not
I
happy
like
with,
everything he does. Doesn't mean I like everything he does, but he is killing it as president, dude. I could not be happier with the way he is running this country.
Really?
I cannot possibly be happier about it.
give me 3 aspects of Trump which you find to be fucking awesome. Give me 3 things.
All right. Number one, the way that he is handling this situation with Canada. Canada is less than 3% of our economy. We are 78.2% of their economy. Canada decides that they're going to break the USMCA and they're going to make a deal for EVs with China. Trump says, oh, no, you don't. And decides that he is going to bankrupt Canada. He is going to ruin them, which he has every right to do. He's doing it on our behalf. Mark Carney thought that he was going to punk Donald Trump, and we are going to find out that he's going to wish he was pretty or good or whoever. It is just not going to work.
Give me number 2. This Canada thing, I'll talk about it. 2, give me 2.
Number 2, the Venezuela, the government, Maduro in Venezuela, was poised to strike Guyana and to get to the Essequibo oil reserves. They were on the border, ready to go, ready to steal oil from the neighbors next door. President Trump said, not today, not today. Went in, no loss of life on the American side, showed the world we have weapons that they don't even know we have and that we are not to be messed with. Took Maduro, wrapped him up, put a mint under his pillow, and said, we'll see you, wouldn't want to be you.
Number 3.
Landed him in New York.
Number 3. Number 3.
Number 3 is watch what happens in Iran over the next, say, 5 to 7 days. We are letting Europe, NATO, we are letting Russia, China, we are letting them know that you don't, Tim, I don't know if you're aware of this, but the United States economy is around $32 trillion. Our GDP is around $32 trillion. That is larger than the next 7 countries.
Okay.
We are the customer. And the customer, what do they say about the customer?
Customer's always right.
Damn straight. And so if they want to play with America, they can find out just like the rest of them. Greenland, do you know that we have a hole in the Golden Dome for Canada, just the size of Canada?
God,
there will be a hole in the Golden Dome, leaving Canada unprotected. I mean, this dude is a genius.
Okay, I'm going to discuss Canada, Venezuela, and Iran. But before we do, give me one more honorable mention. I'm just curious. I'm going to talk about all 3 of these, but give me one more honorable mention.
We have now, and we had before. To be honest, we had 6 companies that manufacture rare earth. They not manufacture it. They dealt with rare earth to make magnets that we need and chips that the world needs for artificial intelligence, among other things.
Okay.
Compute. We're in a war for compute right now. Okay? Those six companies not only are poised to absolutely rock this country in our economy, but totally it dynamically changed the way the United States has been treated. But these countries are treating us as if they were equal to us. And nothing could be further from the truth. Now, should we walk around and swing it, and slap them in the face with it all the time? Probably not, but we can. And they should understand that.
Okay.
They should understand that they are not. Listen, when we walk into the club, okay? When we walk into the club, they're also Rands.
Okay, I let you rant. Let me go ahead and
You asked me a question. It was not a rant. I'm just telling you how
Okay,
it is.
fair enough. I'll let you answer the question. I'll tell you right off the bat. First of all, I was told this was all about America first. Everything you mentioned was international. Everything you mentioned, Canada, Venezuela, Iran, you're talking about rare earth minerals, other countries.
Wrong.
What?
Because of your point of view. I'm sure that you see it that way. Doesn't mean that it is that way.
Venezuelan oil. What are we going? How is that going to? Are we going to start using that here? We're going to steal their oil from them?
Not stealing anything. We already purchased it. Those deals were in place since the 30s. This is what I don't understand.
Bankrupting. Okay, I get it. Bankrupting Canada. How is that going to affect the average American? You celebrate.
We have automobile manufacturers in this country that need jobs. We have agreements that are already in place so they don't lose their jobs. And you're going to tell me not only are you going to go to my largest competitor on the world stage, you are going to go to them and make a deal outside of this deal, put my people out of work, put EVs, those EVs that they're getting from China will cross the American border 6 times. 6 times in their manufacturing.
Letitia wants me to ask. She said, "Is he Trump's brother?" Let me respond by saying this. Straight talk. The stuff you're pointing out as great accomplishments of Trump, in my opinion, and I'm not saying they may not ultimately end up being great accomplishments of Trump. Everything you're mentioning, the jury is still out on it. Not only does bankrupting Canada is not benefiting America right now. The Venezuelan oil is not benefiting America right now. The minerals you're talking about from the rare earth, none of this stuff, all of this stuff is expected to benefit America in the future, which means that the next administration has to follow up on what Trump did. There's no guarantee any of this stuff is going to culminate into anything beneficial to America.
I am sure that y'all will be able to fuck up a wet dream. I am sure that if you were handed an absolute stellar economy and a prosperous future, that the left in this country would be able to screw it up. Because why were we trusting them to begin with? We got in this hole. We got in this hole because of that leadership, because of the way you are thinking. And you still, even when presented with a great example of how things should be done, you still want to think that way. So I have no doubt if I gave this back to you, put it back in your hands, you would find a way to smear shit.
Listen, if I was president, damn right I would fuck this up because I think Canada's a friend. I don't want to bankrupt Canada. Okay, I would personally fuck it up.
How did that manifest itself? You tell me how Canada was our friend. Go ahead. I'm listening.
I don't see whatever made them an enemy, to be honest with you.
I'll tell you. Would you like to know?
Absolutely.
Would you like to know?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. They have gone against every agreement that they have had with the United States. They have slept under the comfort of our protection for the last 60 to 80 years. They have done every single thing that they promised not to do when it came to wood imports in this country. When it came, they go against us in every NATO summit. Every time that we want to talk about securing Europe, they don't offer any assistance to the United States. When is the last time you saw you saw a dime from Canada when we had an issue, when we had a problem? When is the last time you saw that?
Okay, now we're getting pushed for time. I can't answer that, but I do want to ask you something.
Then how are they our friends?
Which is why I'm about to ask you this. Who is our ally? Do we have any allies, in your opinion? In the eyes of MAGA, Who are our allies?
Guess what? Listen, you want to say you're my friend, you want to say you're my ally, I need to see you with a right.
Okay, so who
Do
is
you understand
wait,
that?
wait, who is living up to the standard in the eyes of MAGA? Wait, hold on, in the eyes of MAGA, who is living up to the standard of being an ally right now?
I'm trying to explain that to you. Okay, when I send billions of dollars to Ukraine, so NATO doesn't get run over by Russian troops. When I'm sending all of this aid and NATO can't even pay 2% of their GDP, can't be NATO, can it? Can't be all the EU countries that can't even pay 5%. But by the way,
I'm not getting an answer though.
Hold on. Do you know why you don't have health care in this country?
Because the rich don't want to share.
That money is going to secure European countries.
I gotta move on. I gotta move on, but I need that answer. Who is an ally? Give me a country.
Yeah, you give me one. We're finding out we don't have any friends. We are finding out that we're supposed to pay for everything.
Not one country.
Finding out that we are supposed to be doing all the work, and they don't have to tote a barge or lift a bale.
So we don't. So at the end. So in other words, we're doing everything. We don't have one ally right now, according to you.
That is America first, by the way.
That's America. That's America only. I gotta go, Straight Talk. Always a pleasure.
Sure
Always welcome back.
I'm sure you do. Take that ass whooping and go on then. Take that ass whooping, Tim.
That you know what?
You want you to talk to you like Granny does, like Den does.
I'm out.
I could do that too.
Okay, do it next time. That's about comparable to an ass whooping from a dominatrix. We have bases in Japan. He couldn't come up with one ally. That's astonishing. And I think he is about as MAGA comes. Always welcome on the program, by the way. My door's always open to MAGA, but could not come up with one single ally on a planet of 180 nations. Wow. Tap the screen, get us on up to 100 and let me put on my spectacles with my blind ass. 125,000. Make that happen. This guy down here rapping about Trump for months. He just talking loud and think it makes him bigger. Thank you, Gabe. Yeah, appreciate the hat and mustache. It's a few of you guys supporting the program, but damn, it's slow today. Let me go back to the box. Not one ally. That's interesting. I'll go to Handsome Conservative because I do want to see if there's another conservative that has the same view. Handsome Conservative, good evening. Welcome to the program. Whoa! Thank you, DJ D's and Daryl. Appreciate it. Conservative, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
All right. I just want to take this moment to say this is the first time that you have ever brought me up.
Marty Marr, appreciate it.
That's all I'm going to say.
Is this the first time you ever requested?
No, I request a lot. I'm just a very offensive son of a bitch.
Well, let's get to the offending part. What did I get wrong so far?
Well, actually, I agree with most of what you said so far, to believe it or not. But I got to tell you, I think MAGA Reacts is a little off his rocker.
What did he say to make you indicate that?
Everything from when he opened his mouth to when he shut it.
So let me center it. The death of Alex Pretty. What's your take on that?
Honestly, I think it was bullshit. Look, I voted for Trump. I'm not going to lie to you. I would never have voted for Kamala. I don't think a woman needs to be president.
Ooh, no woman at all, huh?
Oh, hell no. You can't keep your family together. You don't need to be running this country.
Oh, you're talking about a man that's cheated on his wife with a porn star, though, conservative?
Hey, look, let's be honest about that, all right? If he's cheating on his wife with a porn star, you're just upset that he got a porn star. I mean, let's be honest with it.
No,
if I had a chance to bang Debbie Does Dallas, I'd be banging Debbie Does Dallas.
I'm not going to disagree with you that Trump has probably banged a hell of a lot of hotties because he used to hang around Hugh Hefner at the Playboy Mansion. So he does have accomplishments that may make the average man jealous. But you mentioned not being able to keep a family together. And I'm going to bring up that Trump has been divorced like multiple times. How does he get a different grading on that?
Oh, he doesn't. I'll be honest with you.
Okay.
He's a dick for divorcing his first wife. There are vows for that.
Okay, fair.
Till death do you part.
Okay, and thank you. Well, hang on one second. Stephanie Sain says, thanks for being live. Thank you. Appreciate it, Stephanie. So, okay, you do believe Alex Preddy's death was bullshit. Why would Trump refer to the guy as a domestic terrorist then?
Oh, he's playing to the party. He's playing to his party. I mean, let's be honest. All politicians, Democrat or Republican, plays to the party.
You're his
And
party.
that's
You're his party. Is he playing to you by doing that?
Hold on a second, because that's a good question. I voted for him the first time. I did not vote for him the second time.
Third
I
time.
didn't vote at all the second time.
Okay.
I saw where it was going. The only reason Trump is in office is because of the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party made him famous. The Democratic Party just went off on every Republican that I ever heard speaking, pissed them off till they came out and put him in office. They made him. That's why he's in office. And to be honest about it, you can't deny it.
I'm not totally denying that the Democrat Party did not help Trump out, but I do believe it was pretty easy to do that because Trump had his voters convinced that no matter what he says is actually true. Like right now, we still don't know the full contents of the Epstein files. And what I've asked many MAGA viewers is, let's say Trump really did something wrong. We don't know if he's done nothing wrong, but let's say he really did something wrong. Who could tell you and you would actually believe it? For most MAGA, they don't have an answer for that. Who could tell you that Trump committed a bad felony with Trump saying he didn't do it and saying that person is... Hold on. Wait a minute. With Trump saying that he didn't do it, and the person, whether it's the DOJ or the FBI or somebody... Hold on, hang on. With Trump saying that he didn't do it, and a member of the FBI or the DOJ or somebody saying he did do it, who could convince MAGA that anybody else was telling the truth and Trump was lying? Go ahead.
All right, I'm going to answer your question, but I'm going to answer it like this because this is the best way I know how to put it. First of all, I don't know that Trump isn't in the files, okay? I don't know that. In fact, if you want to ask my honest opinion, I think there are a ton of Republicans and Democrats in those files.
Why do you think he's acting so secretive? He's normally very transparent with the media, but when it comes to Epstein, he's obviously handling that different. Why do you think that is?
Because it was a campaign promise. Honestly, it was a campaign promise.
A campaign promise to do what?
To do the Epstein files. That's what you're asking me.
So in other words, he's violating his campaign promise.
Name one president that has not broken a promise when they were running. Democrat or Republican, they have all done it.
So that's not making sense, though. I'm asking you, why is he being so secretive with the Epstein files? And you're saying because he promised to deliver on them. That doesn't make sense.
Well, okay, and I can't prove this. This is just my opinion, okay?
Okay.
Just my opinion. He very well could be in those files. I don't know. I would assume if he is in those files in some way, he may not have been banging any girls over there, but if he was just at the island or for whatever reason, his name is in those files, he's going to keep it out. And I'm trying to be fair. I'm trying to be fair and honest with you, Tim. Honestly, I think all politicians are fucking crooks, and that's just my opinion.
So then I'm gonna ask you what I said earlier, and I see Further Great in the comments is pointing it out. Who could tell you that Trump banged a young girl if Trump was saying he didn't do it? Who could tell you he did and you would actually believe him?
Honestly, nobody. I would want to see it, much like you. I would want to see it in the files if they ever got released. That would prove it to me. But again, I don't trust politicians. That's why I say I want to see it in the files. I want to see it in the files.
Do you trust Trump? You said you don't trust politicians. Do you trust Trump?
Hell no, I don't trust Trump. I voted for Trump for one reason only. I voted for Trump because he is a businessman, and regardless of what you say, good at business or bad at business, this country needs a businessman at the helm, not a bleeding heart. He needs we need businessmen to run this country.
How do you think he's doing so far? He's a quarter of his term is done. How do you think he's doing so far?
Well, I will say this. I think we need to softly invade Canada and set their asses
Oh my
straight.
God.
Canada is
Canada?
the perfect country. Canada is the perfect country that you could look at that went downhill. They keep electing Democrats. They keep getting their shit all fucked up. There are provinces begging to leave Canada.
Invade Canada. Oh my God.
Again, we need to fuck that. I follow a Muslim husband and wife on TikTok, okay? And even they admit living in Canada, and this is
that's not our business. That's not our business that Canadians are not happy. There are Americans that are not happy here.
Yeah, well, then let's just say this. I will agree with you on one thing. The country needs to work for the people, not against the people. And politicians have never done that, Democrat or Republican. My hope voting for Trump was that he was going to put the people first. And that's why, one time only.
I agree with you that our politicians in our country should work for the people, not vice versa. But it's not our job to go tell other international entities that you're not working for the people, so we're going to invade you. Because there are plenty of Americans that don't think the government here is working for them either.
I will agree on two things. First, I will say Canada has been living under the United States protection for way too long. They have gotten soft, and they pretty much screw us over all the time. Second of all, I have to tell you, I think the problem isn't really, how would you put it? I don't think it's the black against white, Democrat against Republican. I think people are stupid. It's the rich against the poor.
I think it's a combination of all that, but it's absolutely the rich against poor. That's probably the biggest one.
Tim, with respect to you, man, I got nothing but respect for you. But
thank you.
Let's be honest. Gangster grandma is fucking crazy. And second of all,
you're gonna make me bring her up, but go ahead.
To blame. It's for people who need to blame somebody else. It's the haves against the have-nots. And as long as they got you fighting with me and me fighting with you, we're not coming together and we're not fighting them. And that's the problem.
I'm not disagreeing with that at the helm, but I do believe there is a segment of black against white and some of those other entities you point. I mean, historically in America, black against white goes all the way back to the very beginning. So that has always been around.
Have you ever heard the story, The Little Boy Who Cries Wolf?
Yes.
Okay.
That's now Trump claiming that all the elections are fraudulent. Trump is now taking that role. Go ahead, make your point. Make your point.
All right, my point is this: if black people throughout history, because of how things used to be way back when, keep blaming white people, even though neither one of us had anything to do with any of it, then we're not fighting the real enemy. We're not fighting the real enemy. The real enemy isn't black and white. And we're going to have to let that shit go, or we're never going to get anywhere.
Here's the problem, handsome conservative. First of all, you mentioned way back when, so we have to decide how far, because what white America thinks is the time frame when all this stuff ended versus what black America thinks is not like night and day. So that's the first thing, is it did not end anywhere near as far back as white America thinks. The second thing is, whenever it, hold on. The second thing is, whenever it ended, whatever time period you give for when it ended, white America during that time period was saying it wasn't happening either. So the problem is, white America has always downplayed or denied that anything was taking place at all. So that's where a lot of this comes from. But go ahead, make your next point.
Let me make this point. What you don't hear about with this stuff, okay, what you never hear about, I never hear it on your show. America fought to end the Civil War, okay? They fought to end the Civil War. The whole race thing, the whole slave thing, all of that. There were white men and black men fighting together and dying together to stop slavery, to stop the hatred. Okay, you in the Civil War.
But there were also people fighting to keep slavery too, though, right?
Right, and as a man from the South, I'll be the first person to tell you that was some dumb shit. Okay, but when it comes to America, you hear the white man or the black man, but you never hear that we came together. You never hear that we fought and died side by side.
Well,
that's the game. That's the trick.
No, I got to push back, because my granddad, God bless his soul, fought in World War II. And I often wanted to ask him, why were you fighting in World War II? You absolutely was not fighting for your freedom. Because when you came back, they still treated you like shit. And that's in the 1940s. That's well after the Civil War. So pointing out they fought side by side, you're right, but they weren't fighting for the same thing. Because after the war was over, they didn't get treated the same. So I don't know what the black folks were even fighting for in some of these wars.
But we're not disagreeing, Tim. We're saying the exact same thing.
I don't know if we are. I'm not sure we are. Go ahead.
What did I just say about the people in the Civil War? They were dumbasses that wanted slavery and wanted to treat people like you bad because of the color of your skin.
Yeah, but
when World War II happened, there were dumbasses that would fight beside you, but when you came home, they would treat you poorly because of the color.
Okay, so let's go with that. So if you're going to treat me like shit when I come home, then it ain't even worth giving accolades for the fact that we fought together. It ain't even worth bringing it up. If you're going to treat me like shit after the war is over with, then we're not accomplishing anything fighting together.
It's people like you and me, okay, that need to come together. It's people that have an open mind, Democrat or Republican, that need to come together. What we need to do is leave those kind of people in the past where they belong and let them die off like the dinosaurs. Okay? What we need to do is stop being divided and take on the real enemy.
But here's what baffles me. How can you have this spiel about how we need to come together and unite while voting for Trump? You voted for division. You voted for a guy that says he hates Democrats.
No. I did not vote for Trump the second time. If I had voted for Trump the second time...
What about the third time? What about the third time?
For division.
What about the third time? The time they got him elected. The time when he said he was going to be your president of retribution. What about that time? The third time?
No, sir. I voted Trump the very first time he ran, and only the first time. I didn't vote for the second. I didn't vote for the third. When I'm sitting here telling you that me and you are not that far apart, I mean we are not that far apart.
I didn't know that. Okay, that corrects me.
A little extra money. Other than the fact that I give you a little extra money because you have to deal with gangster grandma's bullshit and Dencal.
Dencal, you putting Dencal in that category? You putting Dencal in that category too?
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I'm getting carried away. Ted Kyle's just a little less crazy than Gangster
Oh,
Grandma,
my
but so
God.
is Satan. Okay, all right. I apologize.
I didn't know you. I did not know you didn't vote for Trump the second and third time. So that set me straight. I didn't know that. I did not know that.
No, I don't vote for. I don't vote out of hate. I vote because I want to see change, and that means for everybody.
But most folks, conservative, most folks on the right were really happy with Trump's economy and everything of his first term. Why didn't you vote to give him a second term after his performance on the first term? What did he do wrong?
Because I'm not stupid. I loved Trump's economy the first time. It was great. But let's be honest. Trump's economy was both his doing and the president before him. That's what made the economy. It wasn't one or the other. They both made that economy. Now, I didn't have a reason to vote for him the second time, but I knew he was going to win. Well, the third time. I knew he was going to win.
Okay now. I was wondering.
I apologize. I knew he was going to win.
So you do acknowledge he lost the 2020 election to Biden.
Oh, partner, man, I acknowledge he lost.
Okay.
Absolutely, I will acknowledge he lost.
All right.
I just wanted to come up and actually just say, support your local liberal, all right? And thanks for finally bringing me up.
Listen, if I see you, I got you in the future. Certainly appreciate you coming through. Thanks for all your support on the program. Door is always open to you, man. I didn't see you in there, but if I see you, I'll certainly get you.
Okay, hey, listen, one last thing, man. I'm going to go ahead and hop over on YouTube because if you ain't already got Gangster Grandma, I know you're going to need some money. All right, I'll be waiting. You go ahead and put
all right.
She brought up, and maybe she can start guzzling instead of telling you to.
Oh, my God. I can't believe you said that. Handsome Conservative, thank you. Appreciate it. Moving on, tap the screen. He said she can start guzzling. Wow. Tap the screen. Get the likes on it. What does that say? Turn on reactions. Okay. Wow. I wasn't expecting to say that at the end. Let me go back to the box real quick in the comments. Tap the screen. Get us on up to 100 and put it right there where my lights are at. 140. You guys can get us up to 145, can't you? Tap the screen. Let those thumbs not be lazy. Do that. Help your boy out with the TikTok cap goal. Somebody like they just did that. I need some money. We can start with $5K rebate check so I can get new carpet. Isn't Trump supposed to give us a stimulus check? Is that what you're talking about? Tis what it is, but making votes in the present is better than based on the past. Okay. He's right. There's always been good white people helping out, but they don't want to be echoed. There's not only always been good white people. Some folks have died fighting for the cause. And thank you, Big Dog. Yeah, thank you. Help your boy with that hat mustache. Appreciate that. Yeah, there's no denying that blacks and minorities would not be free without the assistance of good white people, as you put it. But those good white people also pay the price. You guys see Mississippi burning. It wasn't just African Americans. They would take out anybody trying to help minority progress was treated just like minorities. So there's plenty of white folks that have paid the ultimate price fighting on behalf of freedom and civil rights. Bernie Sanders did time in jail for partaking in civil rights protests. Bernie Sanders even done that. So yeah, you're just as good to go, which is why I believe there's a lot of folks that favor what happened to Renee Nicole Good and Alex Pretty, who both are white, because they're fighting on behalf of minority causes. They're fighting against ICE. ICE is there to get rid of immigrants that are minorities. What ICE is doing is against minorities. And there's a lot of people who believe that those people are being mistreated. The same thing with the Somalis. A lot of those Somalis are Americans and naturalized citizens. ICE is there to treat them like shit because of the fraud or whatever. They're fucking with those people. And there's a lot of white Minnesotans that are fighting against it. So people who view the Somalis, like President Trump said, as garbage, if you support what Trump is saying and you truly believe these people are garbage and need to be kicked out of the country, then you're going to view any white Minnesotan that is trying to help them out as also the enemy. That used to be referred to as an N-word lover. So that there's a reason why people are very happy with what happened to Alex Preddy and Renee Nicole Good. They would be modern day versions of N-word lovers. Let me go back to the box. And the same thing with the folks that Kyle Rittenhouse took out. N-word lovers. They all are like, they're going to view them folks as fair game. They're N-word lovers. Because Kyle Rittenhouse's victims are white too. And there's a host of other folks like that. Daniel Penny down in Texas took out a Black Lives Matter protester that was white. And he was convicted, gave like 20-some years in prison, and Texas Governor Greg Abbott pardoned him. Let me go back to the box. And we'll go to, since she was called out, the one and only Gangsta Grandma. Good
Okay,
evening.
let's get this shit straight. Bitch, I'll never goggle for a white man. I only goggle for niggas. How about that?
Hey.
Hey. No. I'm so sick of these mofos coming for me, trying to disrespect me. I'll be on my knees for my ninja. How about that? Only for my ninja. Only, bitch. And it's chocolate all fucking damn day.
Okay. Well, let's not gargle too much on the
I
program.
preferably would like to don't get salmonella, okay?
What is
My
this?
chocolate protein gets me going.
What is this salmonella? What are you talking about?
Yeah, they do salmonella all day. Golly, you get heebie-jeebies by looking at. Have you seen a pink, a motherfucking white tea man jiggling? It's pink, man. It's fucking pink. Do you realize if you see a black man and a white man, the black man's body looks gorgeous. It's chocolatey and every damn thing else. And they got the BBC. Unfortunately, and when it's not even hard, it's still BBC. And then we get to the white tea man. Oh my fucking God, it's pink. So don't go there with me. Shit.
I don't really pay attention to the genitals of white and
I
black
do
men.
because
so.
I love me some ding-a-ling. But I preferably stick to my chocolate side and my chocolate coochie. How about that?
And I see Cat 2.0 said, I ain't mad at her. Wow. And no lies detected from Black Baby Boy. You guys are, look. Let me get back on track, because you're going to have my black ass blushing. I'm trying to figure out.
Where's the truth? I'm on it, there. On it, you Uncle Ruckus. Tell him. You guys got the BBC. That's why the snow roaches be going straight ham. Oh my God, I got black in me. Oh, I gotta get me some. I gotta get the cornrows going because oh my God, ninja fucked me. Go fucking figure.
Straight Talk Commerce says this is who you vote with, suggesting that.
Oh well, let me tell you about Straight Talk. With this uneducated motherfucker. I would spit on you because you're a fucking vet. You ain't shit of a fucking vet. Over here thinking it's okay to unalive mofos. And then the other fucking one. Oh, it's okay. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, they are in lovers who got unalived because they came and helped us. Black and brown folks. And it's disgusting.
What about what MAGA React said, that if you wasn't interfering with the duties of law enforcement?
Your MAGA React is fucking like 2 French fries short of a fucking Happy Meal. Okay? 2 French fries short of a fucking... I don't know where the fuck this motherfucker came from. We need to ship his ass back to Egypt.
But
okay?
But how do you respond to the fact that these guys were being told to get out the street and they didn't do it?
Let me tell you something, okay? They can go protest wherever they want to. They can carry a pew-pew wherever they want to. That mofo had a license to carry, like I do. I have a license to carry, okay? And trust and believe, my Glock is strapped, okay? And I got 2 more in my car. And I bet a little mofo, a little snow roach come step my way. I'll put him in a body bag.
Snow roach.
Fuck around, find out. And quit using our fucking language. Fuck around, find out. You motherfuckers can't even
That ain't
right.
that. Fuck around to find out is not. That's not our.
Yes, it is. We took it like they took woke.
No.
Don't get off your knees. Get off your knees.
Okay, allow me.
Can I ever get you to turn black again? Can I ever get you to turn black? Do you want me to go get you something?
I'm about to allow me to retort.
Oh yeah, if I got some dentures, bitch, let me tell you something, okay? Let me tell you, I'll be getting Negro sprung, okay? If I had dentures, I'll pop them out, suck on them, and take their souls. Don't ever get the shit twisted, okay? Don't ever get this shit twisted that you think that is a put down. Cause I wish I had some. Cause my ninja will be like kissing my ass, okay? Shit, you know what? They really think that. Come on, man.
How about this though?
I want some damn dentures to pop them out so I can suck some dick. You know, I can take this. It's beer. Like they think it's an insult. My God.
How about this? With your language, Stevie D says her dad must be proud.
My dad is very proud because you know what? He was a strong black man. He marched in Thelma with Martin Luther King. Okay, he got attacked by a dog, and he got fucking what are those water hoses and shit. Don't ever get the fucking twisted. I got pictures, bitch. So with your white tea trailer ass, go back to the Triple K.
Jesus.
They
Okay,
want you.
so allow me to retort on your other comment that you suggested that fuck around and find out.
I said in Thelma.
You said fuck around and find out is our language.
Fuck around and find out, and you fuck with me, honey. Let me tell you something. In the body bags. And and another thing, you need to tell these white trailer asses, do not compare CK drip all day, lead to the left, mofo, to MLK, where he was fighting for rights, unlike the other white idiot was fighting for segregation, saying that black people was ignorant and stuff. I can't tell.
Well, why do you think they do compare Charlie? Why do you think they do compare Charlie Kirk to Martin Luther King?
Because they're dumbasses. They're a box of dum-dums.
Well, maybe.
Okay, I think you know why I do need to go and put a picture of some dum-dums on my pic. And motherfucker come for me, you're a fucking dum-dum. You feel what I'm saying?
I don't know where to go with that. Real quick, you didn't let me retort on this whole fuck around and find out is our language. I disagree because our language is I wish a motherfucker would. That's what we were saying. It means the same thing as fuck around and find out, but our language is I wish a motherfucker
be
would.
Quiet. Get off your knees. Does that cock really taste that good? I know chocolate cock does. Shit, I tell you what. At least it got some kind of flavor. What kind of flavor do you like? The uncooked shit?
Gangsta.
The one that don't taste like vanilla? They say they taste like vanilla. I can't tell. What is that fake vanilla shit? Hell fucking to the no.
Gangsta grandma. You
No,
remind me
for your ass.
you remind me of Andrew Dice Clay. How often do you suck dick? It comes up a lot.
I suck dick because I want to suck some dick. I suck my ninja's dick when I'm single, when I got somebody. I suck it morning, noon, and night if I want to. You feel what I'm saying? Because that's what I do.
Okay.
Everything. Unlike you, I'm supposed to do that. Because I'm a woman.
Okay.
Unlike you, I should get you some knee pads. At least I got some knee pads. Shit, hell. You want some?
You know Gavin Newsom was selling signed autographed knee pads for Trump.
Yeah, he was selling for Trump. He sure was. And that is my governor. I love me. That's the only white boy that I would go ham on. And he is. And I never know about his.
Okay,
you know
you're talking about salmonella and uncooked meat, and you're talking about
allies are not salmonella.
You're calling Gavin Newsom a white boy. How do you respond to folks who say you sound like a racist, gangster grandma?
Well, you know what? It is what it is, huh? I do not like the maggots. They put us in this situation. What you is. You a snow roach. You a corn starch fucking monkeys and every damn thing else. I have no love for your ugly ass. I tell you what, if there was my ally that was drowning or in a fire and a maggot that was in a fire or drowning, I'm picking my ally over you any day. You could burn in hell. That's it.
You would literally.
I wouldn't give a fuck.
If you seen MAGA in a life or death situation and you could save them, you would literally let them go, let them perish.
Yep. One less down, more to go. Yep.
How does that make you any better than the MAGA you complain about?
Because let me tell you something. tell you something. I don't go high no more. I go to the pits of hell where they're from. You feel what I'm saying? I don't go when Michelle Obama, love her soul, say when they go low, go high. Fuck going high. We're going to the trenches of hell. I'm not a nice Democrat. I am the devil. Okay? I am a true Gemini. I'm a true Gemini. I got a good side and I got a bad side. The maggots got my bad side all day, every day. If you was getting unalive, I would put gasoline on you.
Jesus
Hello.
Christ. Why
Hello.
look, I get not
That's
favoring you're very cruel. I get not favoring
You know what? You know what's very cruel is? Do you know what's very cruel? When they have ice ages taking babies away from their parents. When they're telling people what they can and cannot do. When you got the Second Amendment, they're trying to take it from you. You know what's very cruel? Is saying that all Mexicans are rapists and murderers, and then you got one in fucking office. Okay? All this is because of Epstein files. Okay? He's trying to burn it all fucking down because he don't want who coming out? The Epstein files. Because do you know why? Because he's a rapist and a pedo. So don't get me, I'm so fucking nice. I ain't gonna be nice. They can kiss my black ass. And I wouldn't even let them touch me because I don't want salmonella.
you don't have any proof that he is a rapist or pedo. You don't have any proof of any of
for
this.
one, he got convicted civilly for that woman. Okay? That is it. He put his nasty butterball fingers in her coochie. That's great.
What about the pedo
And
comment?
she couldn't go after him legally because of what?
Statute of
She
limitations.
had no time.
Statute of
So she went
limitations.
civilly and won.
What about the pedo comments you just made? You don't have any evidence of
That's
that.
a pedo, you numbnut.
Based on what?
What he did to her. That's a pedo.
He didn't do anything to anybody underage.
And they're walking into girls' locker rooms saying he could go in there anytime to check. And what?
Okay, he
And
walked.
then tell a 10-year-old girl that he would date her in 10 years. That's pedo shit. Thank you.
That is, by the way, telling a 10-year-old
Are you really trying
Yeah.
to defend him?
Yeah,
You a
because
sick bitch.
Then you
be disciplined with him. Why are you trying to justify this shit?
you're trying to convict a man with no due process is why.
He's doing it to us black and brown folks, right? He's telling us to get our papers, right? He told United States citizens to have papers. What the fuck? And they're going after Native Americans, indigenous people, and holding them. Where are they going to ship their asses to?
Did he himself specifically say you need to have papers?
Are you fucking Tim?
I'm asking a
I swear to
question.
God, get that cock out your fucking mouth. I got some goddamn lube for you. I got some fucking lube for you. Cause I got 12 inches for you. At least get the chocolate fucking one instead of the white shit that's gonna give you fucking salmonella again.
I'm just trying to get clarity. You said some pretty wild things, Gangsta Grandma.
That's not why. All the shit that I'm telling you, you go look the shit up. You can look at everything I'm telling you, but you cannot go look the shit up that what's his name is saying and anybody else. Do you see how far and how hard you come for me? How hard you come for me? You let that one white tea man stay up on your life.
Wait a
for
minute,
20
wait a
fucking
minute.
minutes today. 20 fucking minutes. You know your little timer up there? And you gonna keep my fucking fat ass up here for 20 minutes. Because you kept his ass up here for 20 fucking minutes, spearing all this nonsense and shit.
Okay.
All this goddamn nonsense. But you always push back on my black fucking ass. Why is that? Does your dick get hard? Does your dick get hard like that other dude did? And when he muted me on his fucking live when you was on?
Are you
What was his name?
You-
Darth Vader?
Are you like
I told him, did your dick get hard? Did you muted me?
Are you like a dick specialist? You talk about cocks a lot.
I told you because you know what? I can't stand you motherfuckers. You look it up in your ass. All you fucking damn black maggots, black it up your ass because you motherfuckers like it. That damn trailer trash ass that's up in your ass. Because you guys motherfuckers think that you don't get at his fucking damn table and he don't want your sorry asses. All he wants is yes, master, at his table. Not you.
And I see Danielle Dunn says she's a gangster for real. I love her. No, No, Danielle.
I do, honey. I do. I have my little babes. That's why your shit stays up. They're waiting for me to roast your ugly ass.
Oh, my
Because you
God.
like the white shit up your ass. You know I never took no white shit up my ass, only black. You feel what I'm saying? Only chocolate, honey, and it didn't never melted. Now, I don't know how that salmonella be tasting. I can't tell you that.
Zion War says this lady's coaching is full of salmonella. So apparently he's seeing it from you.
Honey, I don't have nothing diseases up in my shit, honey. Because my chocolate jingling does never give me nothing. I can't say shit about your ugly trailer trash asses. Because every time somebody breeds you asses, you guys got the fucked up kids coming out, peeing up on everybody. So let's not go there, okay? You inbred mofo.
I've never heard a black man referred to as trailer trash before. That was different.
I didn't call black men, I said white men.
Okay.
Inbred trailer trash asses. No. I'm talking about the black maggots. They're interbred too. They probably don't even know who their cousins is neither, because they be voting for they be voting against their own damn interests. They voting for the slave master. They're voting for the damn colonizers. Because you know why? Because they sold us out for fucking checks, thinking that they're gonna get checks, and it was the Democrats that gave it to their asses.
Why?
All this shit.
And real quick in the comments, Tommy says, "Why haven't you blocked her?" This is a free speech program. If she was MAGA, hold on, hang on, let me do this. If she was MAGA, she would be allowed to speak as well. When we say uncensored, damn it, we mean it. She just happens to lean left, but we get folks that lean right that are pretty harsh.
Way to the left. You know what I mean? I would never vote for red. I'll never vote for. I don't vote for against my own damn interests. And you know what? No, I couldn't even do it. No.
Is there anything? Can you think of anything at all that Trump has done that's good for the country?
What? Burn it down? What is this America First shit? When he gave Kenya $1 billion for their Medicare, their med shit. They took away from food stamps and the old people and our vets and shit, and gave it to the not Australia. What is it? Oh, whatever that other place is. I can't even think of it. I'm too damn.
You're talking about Argentina.
Argentina. Okay. Then he's stealing. You know what? That these motherfuckers are so goddamn interbred that motherfucker took money from that oil and took it overseas in a bank account, and only he's the one that could touch it.
So you're saying Trump took this oil cargo ship from Venezuela, sold it for $500 million, by the way. That's the report. You're saying he kept all of the money himself.
Overseas. Yep, put it over bank overseas. Didn't put it in our treasury. Put it overseas to Qatar's treasury.
Do you have any? Where's your evidence?
What the fuck? Are you stupid?
Where's your evidence?
Are you fucking stupid? That's why you should not run a fucking goddamn platform. He said it his damn self. Go Google it. Google's free.
You're telling me Trump actually admitted that he sold a Venezuelan ship and put the money.
He sold it. Put it in overseas, Tim. Overseas, anything, and he's the only one that could do it.
And he admitted that. He personally admitted that.
He out of his own mouth. See, that's how dumb you motherfucker is.
No, I have to ask. In shirt 14, thank you for the hat and mustache.
Why if you don't know what the fuck that you gotta check me, right? Why don't you check the other white T roaches up in there saying this shit? They're roaches. I can't even use radon. They come and they multiply.
Do you live around anybody white? You seem to hate the white man.
I hate maggots, not the ones that's on the front line taking bullets and stuff. Those are our people. They just gotta get a little bit of tannish.
But even with your dislike of MAGA, I want to ask, what is wrong with simply making the country great again? What is wrong with what's on this hat?
Are you fucking serious?
This is the goal, is to make America great again. What's so wrong with that?
White cock out your motherfucking mouth again. Quit gagging. It's dripping a little bit too much. You feel me? It's dripping, okay? At least get some chocolate coming out your goddamn mouth. What has America been great for our black asses? I'll wait.
That ain't what I asked you.
It happened. When has America been great for our black asses? We've been shot, pew-pewed at by the popos. Now we're going to get pew-pewed by the ICE. When has America been great? When can we step out of
You're telling me
What
right
has it, Tim?
now. You telling
I'm waiting for this.
You,
And the
wait a minute. You
Mexicans.
said you're awake, but you're constantly talking. Wait a minute. Are you telling me that you're trapped in the house because ICE is going? What are you, Anne
Well,
Frank?
No, I'm not. Tim, I swear to fucking God, I can't stand you ugly fucking bald-headed fat fucking ass. Go on Weight Watchers because you're getting on my goddamn fucking nerves.
I actually am on that.
You're dripping uncooked protein. Hey, you know what? You know what? My brother was driving and he got pew-pew for having a phone in the back. And he was a black man.
Did he fail
okay?
to comply?
About us being great again. It would be great for the white tea fucking man. But it will never be great for fucking us. It will never be great for the indigenous people because they got put on fucking reservations and they still can't get their shit.
Do you see? Wait a minute. Do you see everything through the lens of race?
This is about race, Tim. What the fuck do you think this is about? Oh, about the rich and the poor? Yeah, it has something to do with it, but it's about black and brown. It's about the indigenous. He wants the indigenous out of here because they're what they call, they're bronze. They don't want our black asses because we're coming out of the goddamn shade. Okay? God fucking forbid we don't go out and burn out in the sun unlike the white tea man.
Well,
The Mexicans got it too. The Mexicans got it in the 30s, in the 20s, and they was fighting along with
how
us,
about
okay?
this? How about
Especially in Texas, because one of them got hung.
How about
Okay.
this? Denise in the comments, who has a Canadian flag next to her name, by the way, says it isn't about race anymore. What say you?
Oh my God, dude. You know, hey, you're stupid if you think that. You're stupid. You're stupid. You're stupid. This is about race. If this wasn't about race, then why isn't a white tea man not getting deported like that? Why did he let this South Africans still coming in to this day? Because he needs a hell of a lot more coming in. Why is that? Why? And why is he letting people from other countries come in? Only black and brown countries. But the white ones could come in.
He only let
Why is that?
59 people in from South Africa.
You know what? I only get the white cock out your mouth. You want me to go buy you a dildo with it? I mean, come on, Tim. I'll get you 6 inches.
All right,
I mean,
Gangsta
at
Girl.
least
I do gotta move on. I will skip the dildo for today, but I do gotta move
No,
on.
let me tell you, Tim.
Real
at the
quick,
end of the day,
real quick.
At the end of the day, this is about racism. This ain't about. It is about the poor and the rich too, but it's mostly about racism. And you know what? The white tea man's starting to realize it. Our allies are starting to see what we have to go through. And I hope they get big mad because they can take this shit down.
All right.
Because they can use a white privilege.
I want you to be wrong. I want you to be wrong. I'm moving on. Real quick in the comments, P Dog Knight says Argentina already paid us that back in the currency exchange deal. I'm not aware of that, and I'm not confident I agree with that at all. You're telling me Argentina's already given us the $40 billion back that fucking quick in less than a year? Don't sound like they really needed a loan if they were able to do it that quick. Handsome Conservative says, here's the money I promised. I told you she was crazy. Handsome Conservative appreciate that, and she doesn't let up. To the moon, I think that says. Thank you for your support, 1897. Appreciate that. Tasteless hater, says Robert Kennedy. Wow. DHS report says 2 agents fired. Oh, 2 agents fired weapons. I thought you meant they got dismissed. No, he says DHS report says 2 agents fired weapons in the Alex Preddy shooting. It looked like it was more than 2 of them shooting. I'm going to go on record and tell you, the fact that the Trump administration not only prevented any outside entity from participating in the investigation besides them, but that they also, within a few hours of shootings of both Renee Nicole Good and Alex Preddy, condemned the deceased and defended the cops. I'm just going to go on record right off the bat and say they don't come across as credible investigators. If the feds are the only ones involved in the investigations of Alex Preddy and Renee Nicole Good, I don't think anybody will be held accountable. I don't think they will hold any of them accountable because, like I said, Trump and Kristi Noem have already condemned the deceased, indicating that the shootings were justified, called them domestic terrorists. They didn't wait till an investigation culminated at all. They were on TV within a few hours saying that. They absolutely should not be the only people involved in investigating. If you don't think the state of Minnesota is credible, pick another state. Wisconsin's right across the border. I really think that once they started condemning the deceased that quick, they lost all credibility. And then I don't have any explanation for why they're banning anybody else from partaking in the investigation but them. That's like having the police investigate the police when there's a controversial shooting. They're literally investigating themselves. There's no credibility in that. That right there is wrong as long as the days are. But you're not hearing MAGA complain about that. You notice that? If you don't believe Argentina paid, then Google it before yapping, says Troy. Well, I would want to know the source of it. I guess I'll tell you that, Troy. Because you could tell me we saved $1 trillion by the work of Elon Musk with Doge. And I'm sure if you Googled it, there's sites that say that. But I think it's been proven that the numbers coming from Elon Musk were inaccurate. The idea that the Argentinas paid us that loan back, all of that information is probably coming from the Trump administration. The Trump administration releases inaccurate information all the time. Doge is a perfect example of that. So I'd have to hear that information coming to us from more than just the Trump administration. Because the Trump administration is known for exaggerating numbers to their benefit. I mean, even when Trump got picked up down in Georgia for the fake elector scheme, he exaggerated his own parameters on the mugshot, told us he looked more like Aquaman than himself. So I don't know. Either one said, Tim, seriously, Alex Preddy was killed in public and we saw it. MAGA defends ICE and you're calling grandma cruel for words, what the fuck? Because Gangsta Grandma is basically saying she favors the same shit that happened to Alex Preddy. She just wants it to happen to the white man or MAGA. That's why I called her cruel. If someone was demanding or favoring what Gangsta Grandma was saying, if they were favoring that happening to someone black or an immigrant, we would say it's cruel. So she's basically speaking in favor of the same shit. Siamese Stormtrooper wants to know how to call in. We're on Instagram and TikTok. Same name across all platforms. The Handsome Liberal. You come on either one of the platforms, we bring you up. That's how you call in. We'll move on with the program. Real quick, I see somebody said stop the fluffing. Fluffing how? We don't fluff here. The chicken garden and hen house type of investigation, right? Yeah, that to me, Trump and Kristi Noem threw out any credibility when they condemned the deceased so fucking quickly. The federal government needs to be nowhere near the investigation once that happened. Once that happened, we know Trump is already defending the officer a few hours after it. At that point, the federal government lacks credibility going forward. It needs to be some other entity that Trump is not in control of. So we'll leave it at that. But yeah, if he's over it, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, I personally do not trust the results, but I'll leave it up to you folks if you think differently. We'll go to Mr. G. Appreciate that. Whoever just sent that. Gabe, thank you for the precious gold medal. Mr. G, good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. How you doing?
I'm doing good. So, Bovino is out and Tom Homan is in. I want to ask, the folks pictured on the screen here. I want to ask, what did you're aware that Bovino's out, right?
Yeah.
What did he do wrong?
Okay. So, first of all, MAGA ain't shit.
Okay. Keep going.
Trump ain't shit.
I get it. All right. Let me have it.
All right. The thing is that he's the leader, right?
Bovino. Yes.
I'm a veteran, so I already know what it is. If you're a leader and something bad happens to you, or on your watch, it's mainly because you're in your leadership that you get removed. So he's gonna go and he's gonna go back to his old job and he's gonna retire.
Now, let me tell you why I asked that question. And I agree with what you just said, the way you structured leadership and accountability. But I'm going to ask, I guess, do you believe that what Bovino was doing went against the wishes of President Trump in any way, shape, or form? What did he do that went against the wishes of President Trump? Because both of the shootings, Alex Preddy and Renee Nicole Good, Trump indicated that those were justifiable shootings, and they both were domestic terrorists. So what did Bovino do that went wrong in Minneapolis?
Now it's just the optics. It's just the optics. Everything was set dead right. You know what I'm saying? Freaking Trump wanted everything out in the open. Like the people, MAGA, I'm telling you, MAGA ain't shit because they're comparing the Obama administration with what's going on right now, and it's a complete difference. I mean, obviously it's the same guy, but a different administration. So it's whoever is at the top that is controlling the situation. So with Obama wanted everything covert. Shit, we didn't even know about ICE.
Well, if ICE was doing under Obama administration what they're doing under the Trump administration, you absolutely would have heard about it because Fox News, if they were in cities, right, Fox News would have been all over that shit.
Right. Exactly. And I mean, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Freaking ICE was like gravy seals back then. They're like they were like gravy seals. They're big now. They were probably big then. You know what I'm saying? And they were covertly getting the immigrants out and turning immigrants at the border.
Yeah, I think that was the predominant move of ICE back under the Obama administration, is most of his deportations were happening at the border. They were not fluctuating around U.S. cities, grabbing folks by language and skin color and stuff.
Exactly. And that's what's happening right now.
But what about, because I have the same theory. Denise in the comments, I have the same theory that she's saying Bovino's a fall guy. My theory is that Bovino was actually doing everything Trump wanted him to do. And what Trump wanted Bovino to do went left, causing somebody to lose their life. Trump wanted to keep the liberals in Minnesota in place, to keep them in their place, rather. And it became a mess with the death of Alex Preddy, and it became unpopular on a national scale. And I think that Trump just needed a fall guy. And they used Bovino as the fall guy.
That's what I was about to say. He's a fall guy. He's about to retire. Like whenever, like I said, I'm in the Navy. So whenever a commanding officer or a CMC gets fired, if there was something awry, you can't necessarily get fired in the military, but you have to just.
You can get demoted, but not fired.
You get relieved and reassigned. That's exactly what Bovino is doing. He's essentially being fired, but he's not fired. And that's what the right is going to do. He's not fired. He's not fired. Yeah, he is. Because this motherfucker get freaking reassigned.
Yeah, well, my guess is Bovino probably got letters of accommodation from Trump and everything. That guy didn't do nothing wrong. That guy was running. We can talk about the goons and all the shit they were doing on the streets of Minneapolis. That's what Trump wanted to happen. It was to pay Tim Walz and Mayor Fry their just dues to show them I can do whatever the hell I want in your city. And it went bad, and Trump is trying to save face by making it look like it's Bovino's fault somehow. I don't think Bovino is nothing more than a guy getting thrown under the bus.
I mean, no. And both can be true. He didn't do anything, but he is the leader. You know what I'm saying? So he has to take in account for everything. So he's getting punished for it. And so is that bow-legged Christy Noem. You know what I'm saying? She
She ain't bad looking, bow-legged.
bare-legged hoe, sir. She gonna get it too.
She's kind of nice looking. You know, you think she's not bad looking, Christy? No, it's a little bit.
She's shooting dogs and stuff. No, come on, man. Like, yo, she ain't shit, man.
I didn't say she was shit. I'm not speaking for her character. I mean, I know some bad bitches that suck, but they look pretty. In the comments, Ed G says migrants allowed legally are 52% Latin American, 30% Asian, 10% European, 6% African. She said majority white, Granny lying again. Well, the problem is Granny is saying the goal is to have majority white. So the numbers you're giving likely are not happening under the Trump administration because Trump is blocking a lot of that shit. So that's because Trump just banned all third world countries, Ed. So your numbers are before Trump. That's what she's saying.
Huge difference. Huge difference.
Yeah.
Freaking Obama was convert. He wanted everything to be quiet and everything like that. And Obama, you know, he was effective with it. He did surgery with it. Freaking Trump wants everybody can get it, and anybody in the way can get it too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what the public is fearing about. That's what scares the public.
So let me ask it to you this way, okay? Bovino's out. Holman is going to be in. Because somebody in the comments, one of my viewers has said Holman is about to put the hammer down. Do you think Holman will run this better in Minneapolis than Bovino?
I don't know. Like I said, it's up to Trump right now. Trump is at the lead.
Well, shit, if it's up to Trump, why the hell did Bovino get fired then? It ain't Bovino, it's Trump.
It's Trump and whoever's under him. I mean, obviously he needs. I mean, it's classic Trump. Whoever fucks up under Trump, they gonna get the bus.
Yeah, but what if the person who fucks up under Trump was merely following Trump's instruction?
Exactly. But, you know, he's going to be plausibly deniable about all this bullshit. You know, it's not me, it's somebody else. And it's going to be Bovino, it's going to be Christy Noem.
Yeah, and speaking of Christy Noem, I mentioned that she's not a bad-looking woman, and I see in the comments, Specs Don says, Tim, you have horrible taste in women. She ain't necessarily my type. I think she's not a bad. You think she's ugly? I don't think she's bad-looking, Christy Noem. She's not a bad-looking woman.
Bad, but she ain't bad. I'll break her in like 4 pieces. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, a lot of it is artificial. I mean, she's not natural by any stretch of the imagination, but I mean, I don't think she's ugly. So, I mean, but I see, in A What's That says fucking gross. She's coming across as the Wicked Witch of the East. So that's going to affect how people view how she looks anyway, because some of the things that they're doing.
And then, you know, another thing is I understand there in Minnesota, you know, it might be a stretch, but not far-fetched, because, you know, the campaign happened of Ben Shapiro. Mm-hmm. They want to pardon Derek Chauvin.
But he's in on state charges. So fortunately, if they pardon, all it is, I've done more for black people than anybody since Abraham Lincoln. If they pardon Derek Chauvin, I don't think at that point, to me, there's a few things they could do. And I think Trump wants to do a couple of them. One being, I do believe the Trump administration will be open to pardoning Derek Chauvin if he was only in on federal charges. Another thing I think the Trump administration wants to do is get rid of Juneteenth. I do believe they want to get rid of Juneteenth. If he does any of those, it's hard. If he does either one of those things, it's hard to continue suggesting that he is not doing stuff that is racist in nature. Getting rid of Juneteenth is, wow.
Yeah,
I don't get that.
Get rid of Juneteenth. They just buried MLK with all that bullshit, and I wouldn't be surprised. February 1st, they try to bury that whole month off too. So, what I think is what they're trying to do is with Tim Walz trying to retire or whatever, trying to get out the race. They're trying to elect a Republican so that
They're not going to get a Republican in Minnesota. I can tell you that state's going to be about as blue as no oxygenated blood.
you see why Trump wants those voter rolls.
Yeah. Well, I definitely believe what they've done to the state of Minnesota, there is no hope for getting Minnesota to go red for a while because, I mean, you got a lot of Trump supporters that are nurses and teachers and stuff like that that have had their jobs and seen their students and their patients get mistreated. Minnesota is off limits at this point, at least for the foreseeable future under Trump.
They're trying to create chaos. They're trying to get those voter rolls, and they're trying to manipulate the system just so that they can get a Republican in and pardon that bullshitty ass Derek Chauvin and whoever else, you know what I'm saying, whatever else Republican criminal is in there.
If they gave Derek Chauvin a federal pardon, because he got 20, I think he got 22 years or 20 years like that. One's a 22-year sentence, and one is a 20. I don't know which one is which, because we got federal and state convictions, but if they were able to give Derek Chauvin both a federal and a state pardon, we seen what happened when George Floyd, when they were not going to charge him at all, because for 4 days they did not charge Derek Chauvin with a crime at all, and people were just left to watching George Floyd die on TV and over and over again. So you've seen the riot. Do you think they would riot if they let Derek Chauvin out? Do you think riots would happen again?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if before all this happens, freaking Trump declares martial law before that. With all these, this is not the last shooting that's going to happen. It's going to happen some more, and then you don't think they're going to scale down the amount of agents in Minnesota? No.
Wow.
No.
He said he had a great phone call with Tim Walz.
Yeah, there's a lot of untrained Navy SEALs over there, and they're gonna be shooting up people. They're gonna be as you heard. They don't have to have a warrant to go in people's places now, or apparently memos saying that they don't have to have a warrant to go in people's places. So it's gonna be chaos.
I don't understand. And you're right. They are allegedly able to go in people's places with virtually no warrant. I mentioned earlier they could actually stop you because of your language or your skin color, where you're standing at. I don't get why the MAGA side of the aisle continues saying things like, "Well, if you just would comply with them, you wouldn't have these problems." I mean, they could come in your house without a warrant, and the response is you should just comply. They can stop you just because you're brown or a different skin color. And the MAGA side is, well, you should just comply. I don't get why MAGA is so easy on this.
Because they're big ass hypocrites. They're big ass hypocrites. You know what I'm saying? The other guy who was it, saying that the protest, COVID-19. They stormed the Capitol and all that stuff, but with all those rifles and stuff like that. But you can't bring a gun. You can't open and carry in a state that allows open carry with police around you. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. And I mentioned earlier in the program all the examples of why that's crazy, because I mentioned Kyle Rittenhouse. There were plenty of cops there that day when Kyle Rittenhouse walked past a bunch of cops that were in an AMRAM with his hands up with an AR on his strapped across him. I mentioned the husband and wife with the AR and the pistol in St. Louis. And then, of course, the mask mandate seizing of the Michigan Capitol building. You would have to assume there were police at the state building in Michigan. And they walked in all of those places with guns. So I don't understand why Alex Preddy is getting treated so differently.
Because they don't like liberals with guns. That's what it is.
Ooh. Do you think there's any chance under Trump that the liberals would lose their Second Amendment rights?
Yeah, they want us disarmed so they can have our open season.
Open season. What do you mean by that?
They want to have open season. They want to have it. They think they're the only ones with guns, but you know, liberals and leftists have guns also. You know, we're trained.
But when you say open season, it sounds like you're indicating that they want to kill some liberals.
They wanted the Gestapo is here. The Gestapo is here. They want to have this civil war so bad. That's what it is.
That ain't sounding good at all. I gotta move on because you're scaring the shit out of me, Mr. G. You're scaring the shit out of me. Wow, you really believe it's that bad?
It's that bad. It's that bad. They want to pardon all these motherfuckers all in you know that gave, you know, that got 3,000 to Trump, yeah, and they want to pardon them, and they want to have this civil war. They want to get rid of black people. They want to get rid of Hispanics. They want to get rid of all these brown people, and have a white utopia. That's it.
And I'm hearing more and more people say that, but I'm hoping that's wrong. I gotta go, Mr. G. Thanks for coming through, man.
All right, man.
Anytime. Appreciate it.
Easy now.
You too. Looking in the comments here, that's ridiculous, says David. Stupid victim caller, says Robert Kennedy. What he is saying is not true, sister. So a lot of folks are disagreeing on the YouTube side. I will say this, though, and I'm hoping what he is saying is not true, but I don't feel confident that it's not. I will just say this, though. There's a lot of things happening right now as we speak under the Trump administration that if you had have stated a year ago that this stuff was going to happen, you'd have been accused of having TDS. You'd have been accused of being a liberal fearmonger. No one would have believed that Trump was going to send the National Guard to various American cities. And what ICE is doing in Minneapolis, you would never have been able to convince MAGA that if we reelect Trump, that's going to happen. They would have said all of that shit is liberal fear-mongering. You got a full-blown case of TDS. Trump would never do that. I don't think they would have believed that Trump would be hesitant on the Epstein files. There's Trump. So the point I'm making is this. Trump has done enough at this point that I don't feel confident dismissing anybody's claim of what he may do going forward. They may be wrong, but I don't feel confident dismissing that claim because he's done quite a bit already that has been dismissed until he started doing it. Such as I used to get dismissed when asked, well, why didn't you vote for Trump? And I would say, I thought his first term was pretty good. I didn't have a problem with Trump's economy between 2016 and 2020. What steered me away is when he started talking about giving police immunity from prosecution. I was saying this during the Trump-Kamala Harris campaign and getting criticized by MAGA for saying it because Trump would never give police immunity. Well, now that he's in office, it's pretty clear he wants to give ICE immunity. It's pretty clear he wants to give ICE immunity. And that's exactly what he was saying. Is that if I get elected, we're going to give police immunity from prosecution so they can do their job. That's an actual quote I used to play on the show all the time. And the right would say that was fear-mongering, and he actually meant qualified immunity. To this day, I've never heard the Trump administration use the word qualified when talking about immunity. Not once. J.D. Vance took to social media and stated that you have immunity on it. Not once did he use the word qualified. But I used to get hammered by the right for saying that once Trump said he wants to give police immunity in liberal cities, that was a deal breaker for me. And that's exactly what he's doing now. It's in liberal cities like Minneapolis. He's giving them immunity. So he did exactly what he said he was going to do. And the right refused to believe it was going to happen, even though he was saying he was going to do it. Looking in the comments, no, it was obvious in the first administration what he was up to. Wiser advisors kept him in check. True. That's another thing, too. With the checks and balances that are in place, judicial, executive, legislative, Supreme Court. I'm going to see personally, I never thought ever we would see a president that was able to get the amount of loyalty that Trump has. I mean, Congress is pretty much non-existent at this point. Republican Congress is pretty much non-existent at this point. You think that the Republican Congress would be okay with a liberal president doing in Minneapolis or any other city what Trump is doing? He's doing a whole bunch of things that Republican congressmen, my guess is behind closed doors, are like, this is going to fuck us up going forward. They're not saying anything. So I never expected him to get so much power so quickly, have so many people fall in line that we essentially have one guy running the country. Whereas, Trump says this often, you know, I know more about COVID than anybody. I know more about the war on the ground than the generals. Trump says this stuff all the time. But I will submit to you that no one human being knows more about every facet of American life. Military, you know, you talk about streets and sanitation. No one person knows everything. We got one man running the whole country. We got one man telling the experts in all of these fields what to do. I never expected that to happen. That's the point I'm making. I never expected that to happen. The guy's talking about rebuilding battleships. You think the Navy engineers suggest going back to battleships in an age of drones and missiles? That's coming from him. This guy is 80 years old, talking about how he watches Victory at Sea on the History Channel. There's a reason why it's on the History Channel. Battleships are outdated. This guy is on television talking about going back and building a battleship. None of the military stepping forward and saying, no, they would take that out immediately. We don't build battleships. I mean, so it's hard to say where we're going to go when we're letting one man run every facet of American life. Stuff that he knows nothing about. He's never served in the military whatsoever, which would explain why he wants to build battleships. No, I don't have any answer for that. We can use battleships. No, you use, I don't. Okay, all right, if you believe that. Looking in the comments, TDS ranting. We gotta have a little rant every now and then. Why not, Robert? That's exactly what you're doing in the comments. Trump knows more about everything than anyone. Yes, he does, according to him. He likes coal. That's another one. He likes outdated technologies. The windmills, the solar panels, all that's wrong. Good old-fashioned coal is what Trump wants to take us back to. So let me move on with the program here. Anyway, hit there. Tap